Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fableforge. It is Tuesday night. You know that means Red Opera here live with episode 2 after last week's crazy session. I hope tonight finds you all very, very well. I have a million things going on right now. Let me do this. Okay, cool. So tonight, we're going to do things a little bit differently. As you can see, we have 2 players who are not able to attend. Unfortunately, life got in the way. We wish them the best. They should be here next week, unless anything else pops up. But until then, send them our love. If you have them on socials, send them a nice message. That would be really, really greatly appreciated. We do have a giveaway tonight, a different giveaway tonight. So I'm going to quickly pitch that over to Cory to tell you a little bit about it. And I'm also going to Vandal White these things, even though my camera's not going to pick them up very well. That's fine. So Cory, if you're ready, please take it away.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to come out and say that we will not have a PDF, but we do have a dice tower. There was a printed out. We also have some dice, a set of dice to go along with it. As he doesn't break it. There we go. And we actually have some Fableforge merch. We have a sticker to give away as well. One whole package. One winner gets all 3 things. We'll send it out to you as soon as possible. So stick around. At the break, we're gonna do what we did last time.
There we go.
Yes, thank you. Now, you're not gonna pick them up very well, but these sets, the sets we're giving away, they have 10 dice in them each. Okay, including this huge D20. This thing,
look how pretty it is.
Let me get you a regular D20.
That's
let me get you
pretty.
Regular D20.
It's
Check this
huge.
out. Regular
so this
D20.
is the first time I've seen this.
Huge D20. Right? And this set we're giving away tonight, they're clear and they have white numbers, but on the inside, it's hard to see, but there's a whole bunch of multicolored little like glittery flakes. There's 10 of them.
Confetti.
Yep.
Can I enter the giveaway? Is that something that I can do?
No, you cannot.
You sure?
This is also a D4, by the way. It's like this
I love
oblong
those
oval.
D4s.
So cool, right?
I love crystal
that?
D4s.
10 dice, all the dice you could possibly need. This is the set we're giving away from tonight. It came from Dice Envy. And then, of course, as Cory said, the amazing Fableforge sticker. You put it anywhere you want. It looks great everywhere. Also, we have shirts.
We've got shirts.
We have shirts. So that is what we're giving away tonight at the break. So stick around for that. Tell your friends to come on. Appreciate the support and all the love. So that's it for the giveaway. We made a couple of changes to Patronic Inspiration to make things a little bit easier to understand. I updated the banner down below, and you can also see these really cool glowy thingies that 2 of the players have behind them right now. These 2 players have Patronic Inspiration. Fay'lnn and Keatoris characters do. So when they have Patronic Inspiration, it's going to show up. Just to recap real quick, $5 is a random player, $7.50 now is lower for a specific player, $15 to go against me, and then if you get $25 or more, if you're feeling froggy, everybody gets inspiration, including me with negative. So keep that in mind. And as always, if you want to support the cast directly, use the tip button down below. Okay, it goes through Pally, and every single thing that if you spend $1, it gets split evenly between all of us. All right, so that's important. That's for the cast. Everything else you guys are doing is for the channel, which we also need and appreciate. With all the support you guys have been giving us, just a friendly reminder, I don't want to stop while we're live to thank you for all the awesome things you're doing, as much as that pains me. Just never get anywhere. So I will shout out everybody during the break and at the end of the stream for everything you've done so far. So thank you in advance for all that. Now, because this is only episode 2, and I'll have a whole lot of amazing new faces here, we are going to do a really short player intro once again. And we also have the little rotating banner down below, and I'm going to do the exclamation point thing for you guys. So let's go. Kevin, you're first up on my overlay, so why don't you intro yourself real quick?
My name is Kevin Thompson, or Kai Bear on Twitch. I am playing the human wizard Brom. A little happy-go-lucky, kind of sad sometimes, but we'll get through that person. Yeah. You'll see more if you stay here long. Who knows what can happen?
I mean, I know what can happen, but whether or not it happens is up to you guys. Cory, it's your turn.
Hi, I'm Cory. I've been on a few Fableforge campaigns. This is maybe I have a dear spot in my heart for Keatoris, our Tabaxi bard. And you will see how much he has changed if you were with us on season 1. If not, he is no longer the... I can't really think of the word. It's escaping me. Just stick around. He's going to be fun.
Stick around. You'll see it. All right, Lexi, you're up.
I'm Lexi. I have my own Twitch channel here on Twitch. I'm hoping to start streaming there again soon. It's Lexi Monster. I know that I got some real life stuff worked out. But I play Fay'lnn Ambari. She's an elder of Grinloft, and she is she's on a journey to find out some information in this new season. So stick around to see where that takes her, because I'm kind of scared.
And as always, the ever broody Avanessar.
What's up? It's me, the ever broody Avanessar.
The broody.
I'm Sammy Ferber. Hello. I do play Avanessar, the Blood Hunter. He is a fellow newcomer like Brom. After playing Ambari last season. I run my own Twitch channel in the meantime, Drachmae and Demigods, twitch.tv/Drachmae and Demigods. We are a D&D channel. We play a homebrew game in my Greek-inspired world every Monday that is inspired by the demigod homebrew race that I made, sort of centered around that, almost like Percy Jackson-esque demigods in ancient Greece. It's super fun, super cool. Check it out on Mondays. Also, we're not shouting people out, but I do just want to shout out Lunar for the raid. We appreciate you. We're not going to do this more, but if you see Drachmae and Demigods in chat, that's me. I'm going to be the one in chat chatting with you guys as we play the game. Yeah. Avanessar is if you believe what he said last session, Avanessar is the murderer of Ambari, Fay'lnn's brother. So what could possibly happen with that?
Allegedly.
There's going to be another murder.
Is it still allegedly if they claim it, though? I'm not sure how that works.
It could be a false confession.
Innocent until proven guilty, okay?
All right, last but certainly not least, I am Joey. I'm the Forgemaster here at Fableforge. I have my own Twitch channel. You can find me on the socials. Do the awesome thing if you like me. Do it more if you don't, because I like hate mail too. And that's about the end of it. All right? So, I'm pretty sure, did I miss anything, guys? I know I went through a lot of stuff. I don't think I missed anything. It was a lot. I'm ready to play some D&D. So we are going to play some D&D.
D&D. I'm nervous, okay? Oh! All right, we're good. We're good. Got it out of the system.
My friends, last time we were together, you each came together once more as a group at the Last Rest Inn, a tavern roadside, kind of a wayfaring point, a way station for travelers of all different persuasions that come to and fro across the Shadelands to Yonkath. You were summoned there, surprisingly, by Onah. Onah told Knight Captain LaCroix. Knight Captain LaCroix got with Magoro. It's a whole thing. But at the end of the day, you were all summoned back together to help deal with what is potentially an existential threat to the people of the Shadelands and the city itself. The Knight Captain was there with Fate and Onah, where you all met each other, shared some conversation, some good, some not so good, after getting some information about your quest, you decided to head out and investigate on your own. The reason being, there are some aberrations, these Thistlefuries that have been propping up and terrorizing the countryside and growing in number, and the Accursed Guard, the Legion of the Fallen now, have been having a little bit of trouble tamping down, and so they wanted to enlist the aid of experienced adventurers such as yourselves. Deciding that maybe these creatures could be turned back to a force for good instead of wholesale slaughter at dawn, you decided to head out in the middle of the night and try to get some information to persuade Knight Captain LaCroix and the rest of the Legion not to attack at first light. Setting out into the cold, snowy tundra before you, it wasn't too long, a couple of miles, before you found a battlefield that Knight Captain LaCroix spoke of. A place where Legion of the Fallen and many of these Thistlefuries themselves fell in battle as they pushed them back not a day prior. You also found a curious seed, which I'm not going to get into the details of, but we all know what happened there.
My new pet.
Brom and his familiar found a path kind of slushed out in the snow from where apparently these Thistlefuries had retreated from the day's previous battle. Following that, through the snow, the night dark all around you, the air getting chill. You heard screams, humanoid screams of terror or agony or some other very, very bad emotion echoing through the night air. And so you rushed forward, coming up to a low-rising hill, the moon bright in the sky above you, reflecting off the snow, giving a decent bit of light as you scan the surroundings. And that is where we left you. So let me set the scene. The 6 of you, including Mihra and Onah, for the time being, are kind of crouched, squatting, maybe even laying, if you like the cold snow, on top of this hill, looking out an oval-shaped field set in the tundra before you. The snow is thick, reminding 18 inches, 2 feet in most places, out in the center of this oval field, which is flanked almost entirely by low rolling hills. You see about 100 to 150, somewhere in that number, of these 16, 20-foot tall, grotesque, aberrant trees, these awakened trees. They have bits of corpse and carcass and blood streaming from them all the time. Simultaneously, you see many of those small seedlings, these corrupted seedlings, scampering about and scurrying over them and between their feet, probably 3 times as many of these. The opening in the field is about 1,500 feet across, and you see over there, where the hills rise high, a cutout has been carved, allowing passage. And there are several wagons there in a brightly burning light, and you see the shadows of these large Thistlefuries there attacking this burning wagon in the center. And the screams are echoing over this mass of Thistlefuries in front of you to reach your ears. As you're taking in this scene, you feel the air rapidly freeze, and the snow in front of you begins to slow down and then stop mid-air. You turn, looking around, trying to see what's going on. The magical effects in the Shidlands are not all that peculiar, and you were ready for things like this. But turning around to feel the source of this cold, to see the source of this freezing energy, all that stands before you is this vaguely humanoid bright light, glowing, emanating this light blue pulsing arcane energy. You try to speak, you try to move to react, but at the same time you begin to slow and then stand still. This entity reaches out what should be a humanoid-shaped limb in the direction of your party. Mihra, curiously enough, seems to be able to move, seems to be called to this entity. As she slowly rises, the snow drifting off of her, her eyes transfixed on this entity, her arms slowly rising up to reach toward the outstretched limb. And as she makes contact, Onah, through sheer force of will, is able to reach out with a massive bare paw and grab onto her ankle. And then in a flash of blue light, they disappear. And so that is where we leave you. That is the scene before you. You have a group of endangered humanoids, people you don't know, across the field from this massive Thistlefury swarm. What are you doing?
And it just to clarify this a little bit, it goes us, Thistlefury horde, people.
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
I don't think
go
we're
ahead,
equipped. I don't think that we're equipped to handle this. I think we should go get the god and come back.
But here's the thing. If we leave right now, we are dooming these people to their fates. As long as we have Onah, we're
She's gone.
Okay.
That's why I think we should go
as we have Mihra, we're gonna be... Shit. Okay. All right. We gotta... Okay.
How far away are they?
The hilltop you're on, okay, 200 feet or so is where the nearest edge of this Thistlefury mass is. The mass, these things are very, very large, take up a lot of space individually, okay? So in the middle of this open field, there's about 100 to 150 of these things. That mass itself takes up about 1,000 feet of ground. And then on the other side of them, almost directly opposite of you, a little to the left, another couple hundred feet before the hills rise up, there's the cut where the road is, and you see that wagon blazing.
Okay.
Question about the burning wagon.
Yes.
So, does it seem to us from this positioning that the Thistlefuries are trying to avoid the fire while still trying to get to the wagon, or does it seem like they're just sort of pushing through and getting burnt anyway?
It's pretty far away. It is dim light outside your normal vision range, okay? And there's a lot going on over there. It's kind of a cramped space. I need a perception check to see what you see.
First roll, here we go.
You got this, buddy.
7. Are you sure?
Avanessar cannot see out of his helmet. He needs a different helmet.
I mean, it's like you're looking constantly through a fog machine, so like maybe not the best style.
It's cool.
I would also like to see.
You would also like to see? Okay, this will be the other roll.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to not let you roll it. I'm going to roll it.
Not let me roll it. Oh, let him roll it?
Me, as in Keatoris.
Okay.
Keatoris going to roll this one.
Just to maintain like time of action, everything, I do want to send my owl up over to try to get a bird's eye view of the people that are stuck near the burning wagon.
Okay. All right. Well, say it has to climb up and go forward several hundred feet, so it'll be a few seconds. But go ahead and give me a perception check with your owl.
So the action is happening. Perfect.
100%.
All right, that's going to be a 14.
Okay, 14's not bad. 14's not bad.
Doing great.
Okay, so what you two can tell, they're standing there looking together. The fire is obvious. Okay, there's the first cart is overturned, kind of in shambles, broken apart. The second cart is largely on its wheels, and it's almost like a pyre burning on top. And you can just see the edge of the last cart around the bend there. There's a handful of Thistlefuries that you can see, somewhere between 5, 10-ish, most likely. Most of them are aggregating around this center wagon, and they seem to be like lashing out at it. These massive branches are scraping, especially around the ground near it, not so much at the flames themselves. You don't see any people or any more detail than that.
And we still have some time before my bird can do anything.
Just a few more seconds,
we need a plan.
I don't know, unless you have a way to, like a teleportation circle or something that could get us that far across the ground without winding up in the middle of that mass. I don't think that there's a way that we're going to be able to properly save these people without angering a horde in the process.
I do have a teleportation circle and a teleport, but this is going to be the tricky part. I can only take up to 8 willing creatures with me. And I don't know how many there are there. I've sent in my bird to see if we can find out just how many survivors there are. And if it's something where it's manageable, we could get in, rush in, grab them, and go. But if there's more than that, then we have to make decisions. Or something worse. I don't know.
Regardless, I think bringing the guards here will merely lead to more hostages and more dead. These creatures are powerful, far more powerful than a city guard.
But at least it would be a distraction more than just us. Not using them as bait necessarily, but having them as a means of a backup plan if they engage, and then we can go around and see if we can rescue these people. Not that they would still be alive by the time we go get the guards and come back.
That's the thing. We have, minutes?
Maybe not even minutes. These things, ripping people apart, right? Judging from the bodies that we just saw in the snow.
Here's what we know. Right now, they don't know we're here. Now, is there a way we can use that to our advantage, or...
There's hundreds of them.
So, alternatively, you could light them up.
Look, gonna be honest. Fireball, it's an amazing spell. I can maybe hit a small section. That is a mass. That is hundreds of yards of tree, and I can hit small sections at a time. I am powerful, but nowhere near that powerful.
Have any of you actually seen them fight? We know exactly how powerful they are. Yes, they can rip bodies limb from limb, but even you, Avanessar, can rip bodies limb from limb.
Brom, go ahead and give me that perception check while y'all are talking. Okay. Unless you already did.
Would Fay'lnn know about how exactly they fight? Do you know if she would know like anything about how their aggression looks? Since she knows about them in general.
I will allow you to roll a flat d20.
Okay.
Nothing else really applies, and these are almost an entirely new creature. You hadn't really heard of these things before. What's your perception check, Brom?
Thank God for advantage for it being a frickin' owl. That's a nat 20, baby.
What's total?
Don't say that. 23.
Okay. I like nat 20s. I usually give them some extra flair at the very least, but skill checks total can matter, especially this high level. So y'all keep that in mind.
I got an 18 on my d20.
18. Okay. Handle these back to back. Let's get to Brom and his owl first. So you see Brom's eyes roll in the back of his head, go white. He focuses in on the owl, looking through the owl's perception. You're able, with your piercing sight, especially this elevation and everything being so well lit with that blazing fire, you see 5 or 6 of these entities they seem to be systematically tearing apart that center wagon, ripping off panels and the wheels and the yoke and things like that are not burning. They are intentionally avoiding the flare. You also see one reach underneath and pull its big branchy arm back, raking the snow as it does so, and you see a small leg come out at the same time before it scrambles free and darts back underneath the wagon. Not things that you didn't see from before. Around the edge, up on the risers, there's at least several more of these Thistlefuries, and you see little watermelon-sized seedlings pop off their body and surge at the cart, and the flashing of a blade or something from underneath the cart trying to keep these seedlings at bay. I also need you to roll me a d20, flat d20.
Okay.
As this is happening, as we're preparing, Avanessar is going to chug both of his potions.
Okay.
That would be a 15.
15. Okay, so in addition, based on you just kind of analyzing the situation, how much of the cart is left, how fast that fire is burning, the fire seems to have been lit intentionally. There's actually a pyre built on top. But it also seems that in the ensuing battle, it has become uncontrolled and is now consuming the wagon. You figure you have maximum 15 minutes before that cart burns up entirely.
Okay. How many people do I estimate could fit under that cart?
It's a good 12 feet long or so. You see several dead bodies in the snow, mangled, ripped apart. I mean, maybe up to 10 without getting easily exposed to danger. But that doesn't mean there's 10 people underneath there.
If I might have to go in alone. We have, at most, it's safely 10 minutes until this cart goes up, and I need to be there when it does. I can meet you guys back at the tavern. By going alone,
does not
rushing in.
sound like a good idea.
No, it doesn't.
Let me get back
it
to
does not.
Let me get back to Fay'lnn real quick. Fay'lnn, based on mostly on the previous battlefield, you saw a lot of blood on the arms, and even some of them that had died, they died with the bottom of their trunks kind of in the ground and then shooting up around them. Some bodies were wrapped up in roots and branches and things like that. So it seems like they trap their victims and then just kind of tear them apart or rip them apart. And they also use nothing about the seedlings. That would basically be what Brom knows. You wouldn't have seen any of that on the battlefield. So yeah. That's what you would figure as best you can, Fay'lnn.
I will say that as Avanessar drank his potions, you saw his muscles bulge and the veins pop out as he just grew more muscular. At the same time, you see his hands clench into his sword, and it looks like the sword almost bends to his hand, and they are fused into one.
And I know you are wanting a battle right now. This might not be time for fighting. This might be a time to run and to regroup.
At the very least, if you are going in, you'll need backup.
Sometimes it is better from one person. If I can get in, find them, any more of us that goes with me, the fewer I can take with me to get them to safety.
Fay'lnn.
Trust me. I know I'm not the most sturdy of the group, and I don't want to go in alone.
Fay'lnn.
Any other ideas would be phenomenal here, but I'm
Yes.
scared.
Yeah, Keatoris?
I'm scared.
Do they have like a mortal enemy? Is there someone who they fear or who they hate, do you think?
What I
really
know.
quick, how long have we been deliberating?
I was using real game time. I want to say it's been about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, continue, sorry.
Would I know if they fear anything in particular besides maybe fire because they're a giant tree?
Well, maybe not so much fear, but hate. Someone they would attack. Or something of their enemy. I know it's new, but I could buy us some time maybe if a major image of an enemy with us in front of it to get to draw them to us. It'll buy Brom more time.
They instinctively seem to be staying away from fire. So if you can make a giant inferno, that might intentionally scare them off. I don't know if it's something where they need to feel the flame or see the flame, but they will stay away from it.
I have a potentially stupid idea.
Oh,
Yeah?
goodness.
If you...
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Me or him? 'Cause I'm not. This is terrifying.
I look like Bane right now.
Yeah, I was gonna- Phelan's
The
probably
venom
like,
make and everything.
like,
Okay.
are you okay? Do we need to, you're breaking your sword. Maybe you need to take a
Glowing
breath.
eyes are beginning to smoke just like the rest of him.
No.
Oh, God.
If
I'm going to have my owl start to dive bomb the cart to see how many people are underneath it.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check with your owl, because limbs are flailing, these things are tall, there's not a whole lot of space.
16.
Look at something real quick.
Poof goes the owl.
Probably not.
Shit.
More of a glancing blow, really.
I can do something that would give him a fighting chance of getting in there. And this is going to be really cool if you'll let me do it.
Describe it and we'll see.
I
Make
want
it
to
make
use
sense.
Dragon's Breath as a touch spell to give my owl fire breath to clear a path in to keep the ends from touching him.
Okay, so you correct me if I'm wrong. Are we deviating from mechanics? Because I think Dragon's Breath is not a melee attack spell. I think you can only cast melee attack spells through your familiar.
Okay, so
Yep.
Dragon's Breath is you touch one willing creature and imbue it with the power to spew magical energy from its mouth. So it's like you're enchanting them to then have the capability to do so. Then you use an action to use the spell.
Okay.
So it is a touch spell.
I'm fine with that. You would just have to call the owl back first to do it.
Okay.
Which would burn some time. Risk reward.
Oh, I hate you.
That's why I
I
love,
love you, but I hate you.
let me tell you my idea.
Yes, go. Sorry.
So, if Brom goes in, and we want a distraction to try to take as many of these tree creatures away from Brom as possible, what if all three of us split around this basin, and all three of us make 3 separate distractions?
I don't really have anything to make a distraction.
There was an old parable that I've read in many of books when talking of adventurers. It is something along the line of don't separate the group, don't split the team.
Don't believe
Something
old
like
wives'
don't
tales.
split
Listen,
the party seems to be the general good advice for adventurers.
You're the one deciding to go in alone.
I'm going in alone because I can get out fast and instant. And I have a few tricks up my sleeve that even you haven't seen.
But if you get stuck, you're leaving us to either let you die or have to come in after you through the horde anyways, with
Yes.
no help.
Yes.
Which there's no guarantee that us being all the way over here while you're all the way over there, that we would get across like 500 feet of ground before you're ripped limb from limb and those people are ablaze.
So, I have been an advisor, a tactician for many years. And from what I've
Just
learned
teach me
from
some
that,
tricks.
from what I've learned from that is there are holes in every plan. Everything that can be said can be poked through unto infinitum. Nothing's going to be perfect. But we have to decide what has the drawbacks that we are willing to push through to get the job done.
Okay, alright. Compromise. You go in. Keatoris makes a giant blaze designed to push the trees a certain direction. We get a bit closer so that if something goes wrong, we can help, but not close enough that we are suddenly in the midst of them.
I'm
As
calling
soon
my hull
as-
back.
Would it help you if I made
Continue.
you...
No, I cut you off. I'm sorry. Continue.
As soon as we see that you have succeeded or failed, we act. If you failed, we go in. If you succeed, we just retreat.
I'm here for it. If you can see my failure and then act accordingly, I trust you to pull my ass from the flame.
Would it help you if I made you invisible?
Probably. See, here's the thing. I can fly. So I'm just going to
Great! That would have been nice to know.
fly up, over, and in. I'm not running through this giant group of trees. I am effectively dive bombing in from the top.
So, okay, so if we can push them away from the cart for just long enough for you to drop down, grab whoever you can, and how are you going to get out?
I
Are you
teleport.
guys... Okay, you can teleport. Okay.
I have one teleport, and I can teleport us back to the tavern.
If
It's
you have...
risky because
But
there's
if,
no
okay, so you're
circle
gonna
there, but-
teleport. So you're gonna teleport yourself and these people back to the tavern, and then the three of us are just going to run.
Yes.
So
They
it's,
don't know we are here. If I'm over there making a massive distraction, if I don't mess up and you guys don't have to come in after me, we are good to go.
So
But we are, and he
essentially-
pulls a silver, he pulls like a platinum pocket watch out of his pocket. Like, we do not have much time left to
Okay.
deliberate this.
Do it.
So as soon as we see you land, should we start going? Well, we aren't gonna see you if I make you invisible.
Exactly.
I say we start the fire now. The
If
illusion
I
of fire.
If I mess up, I will make one hell of a fiery explosion. And if you see that, that's the signal flare, okay?
What's the signal if you've succeeded?
Nothing.
Great.
Okay. Okay.
I don't
so
really have a "this went well" speech ready, so.
so should you go ahead and start flying over, and then we do the distraction? Do you think that would be better for you, so you have that split second of potential confusion, maybe, or?
To answer that, I will say, has my owl gotten back yet?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take her by the beak and scrawl some runes onto her beak. Get ready to go. Send her back out. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question? Fear is really.
You have
Anything
you
else?
have 4
Fi-
minutes left, by the way.
4 minutes. Okay.
Fire first. You fly in, or you fly in, then fire.
I fly in on failure. Light the bitches up.
Okay, I'm going to
Wait,
pull a
no,
little.
we're saying two different things.
3.5 minutes. What is happening?
Illusion
We're ready, let's
fire.
do this.
Illusion fire to
And I
distract them
just smack him
now.
on the shoulder, and he's invisible.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Fly. You illusion fire now.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna run.
This was
in,
not the plan.
Run
I'm
towards
flying.
them.
Go! You're invisible. Go!
I'm
lasts for an
going
hour.
towards them. I'm going towards them. After all, like they're still arguing. I already was walking towards them, not stealthy.
Towards
not
the mass
anything.
and the 100 plus in the middle, right?
Yep.
Okay.
How far away am I from them?
You've been walking for a few seconds, 150 to 200 feet.
All right. I want to cast Major Image. I want 120. No, wait. I want a basically 20-foot wall of flames. In front of me. Basically, like that's. I thought it was bigger than that, but it's not. So.
Great.
Don't worry,
I
I
read the wrong
have spell
thing.
that is the linchpin of our plan.
That's what she said.
I
It's fine.
misread the spell.
All right, tell you what. It's not. I instead of doing a wall of flames, I'm gonna do a dragon. Over, next to them, like flying over their heads.
Okay, I'm assuming breathing fire.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the
Yes.
doubt here. Okay.
It's a frost dragon. Why do you ask?
I mean, I want trying to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the range on Major Image?
It's 120 feet.
Okay. So you're doing the Bilbo Baggins thing where it's coming in and it's gonna, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I am fire.
You got it.
As he's doing this, is there like a tree I can duck behind?
There's plenty. There's about 130 in front of us that seem to be really pissed
One
off,
that's
actually.
not alive.
The immediate area, you guys are pretty wide open. You can kind of get behind that hill
God.
you're on.
I'm
But
gonna get
other-
behind the hill a
Okay.
little bit and duck
Okay.
down.
It's maybe
going-
maybe 7-8 feet tall hill. It's not very big.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys just see a puff of snow off the ground, and I'm up in the air, and I'm going.
All right. What's your flying speed when you have this going?
I believe it is still my basic 30 with a bonus action of sprinting. It could be 60.
Okay, so 60.
The basic
Math in my
winged
head.
boots. Yeah, 30 feet per round until you land.
So 1 minute is 600, right?
No,
Am I doing
no,
that
no.
math right? Okay, so
That is
2
correct.
minutes. 2 minutes is 1200. So 2.5 minutes will get you there. Okay, because this is 1500 feet away. 1 minute is 600.
Oh shit.
2 minutes is 1200. Another 30 seconds gets you to 1500. So that means you have 30 seconds,
seconds.
as you're coming in the top to do whatever it is you're going to be doing.
You know what that sounds like to me?
A challenge.
5 rounds of fucking combat. Let's do this. Let's go.
All right, so I
Okay.
need to pull up a map.
Can I also say that like online dice rollers like Foundry stereotypically hate me in times of crisis. So we're gonna either see some really cool shit, or I'm gonna roll a new character.
Let's hope for the
This
former.
is, this is going to be very
Yep.
good.
You know what?
Yep.
You can play Tior if you'd like.
No,
Why, do you have somebody
can't.
else that you'd rather play?
As if he's still within earshot. If he's still within earshot after I already started walking and he went up in the air, I'm gonna be like, yell out like, "Help me with the fire!" Meaning this is a major image.
So
not
as he's
an
flying
actual-
off and you're a couple hundred feet away from this herd of Thistlefuries, you're going to shout out into the night air.
Wait, no.
That's
I can't
what
haste on
I
myself.
heard.
No, I don't cast haste on myself. Never mind. Nope.
Yeah, don't cast haste. That's a bad idea.
No.
Are you
Don't do that.
are you shouting, Keatoris? Are you
I
shouting?
forgot what happens when haste ends.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
a good thing to
I'm
happen.
not.
You're not.
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
I am going to rush to be by Keatoris though, just in case someone needs backup. You've
I
got
am
pain here.
holding my concentration because if my concentration drops, everybody can see him.
Okay.
Actually, the time I make up while casting haste would give me enough time for a stunned round before doing anything.
So you would be doing this while you're flying, right? I'm about ready with the map. You better hurry and make a decision.
Fuck it, no, I only need 30 seconds.
All right. I'll pull you guys
Famous
to the
last
map.
words. I don't like that there's a battle map.
Of course, there's a
I don't like that
battle
I'm the
map.
only person of the party on the battle map.
Okay, so first of all, I need everybody to, as you
Is it
guys
showing up on stream?
roll for initiative. Yeah. Oh, well,
I like
no,
her
it's
hair.
not because 1 second here. I forgot I added new characters here. It's just a black map right now. It'll fix in a second.
I got a 7 for initiative.
Thank you for asking me that. This is the darkness you're flying over as you get there.
Yep.
That's what this is.
Oh god.
That's you closing your eyes because you're afraid of heights.
Yep. No, wait, no. Not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling.
All right. Yeah. You guys go ahead and roll for
From
initiative.
great
And this initiative is just gonna, for you three that aren't here on this map, this is just for you guys so we can kind of keep some order to anything that happens.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. We don't know what's gonna happen. All right. I think we're good here.
Did you hear that I got a 7?
All right. Let me fix
Don't
this
worry,
map.
I got 8.
Hey! Oh, almost like we were brother and sister.
D20s.
Oh, wonderful.
Map's still black. It shouldn't be, so I'm refreshing.
Oh.
We lost the music for a second. That's gonna be okay.
Kai, do you not have a modifier?
I do have a modifier.
There we go.
It's not great.
There we
Well,
go.
10.
I'll just let. I only rolled a d20 because I have advantage, and I don't know a good way to do it from the
I can just
Foundry.
do it mentally.
But I
Quick
have a
maths.
22. 22 is mine.
All right. I got 10.
All right. Million buttons, million buttons. You got 10. All right. So Brom got 10. Keatoris, what'd you get?
22.
22. Beautiful. Avi?
8.
8. And we'll ask Fay'lnn when they get back. I think she rolled in there, and then
Fay'lnn
I had to
7.
redo it. 7? Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So, Brom,
Yep.
you see yourself, yes?
Yep.
Right now, you are hovering probably 50-ish or so feet above this, trying to take it in
Okay.
and see what you're going to do. You are invisible. Okay, nothing seems to have noticed you. You can hear the sounds coming from that cart directly below you. We're at the top of the round. Keatoris, this is where you're going to cast that wall of flame, so that's going off. The herd starts moving away from you, which is directly in the direction of Brom in the cart.
I did not cast a wall of flame. I
Oh, you
cast
not the dragon. I'm sorry, the dragon. Same effect though. They're going away from the fire. They're going towards these guys now. So you get about a minute or so before they start showing up, Brom. You start to see them coming your way as you're scanning the battlefield. They're all attacking at this wagon. It is burning. Brom, you're next up. What are you doing?
What does my owl see as it dives in?
The owl dives
'Cause
in.
my owl is.
Okay.
I think it's faster than me.
All right, so we're going to use your previous roll for that just because.
Okay.
That's going to be... So as it swoops in, it dodges 2 blows coming in, but one of them does clip its wing. It spins, kind of nicks the wagon on the way in. As it's about to hit the wagon, you see underneath there's an elderly male with a kind of a gray beard. He's strong and relatively youthful, but elderly to a degree, and 2 relatively small children, both under 10 years old. They're cowering underneath the middle of this wagon. The older guy has an axe and he's swinging out at the seedlings and these Thistlefuries that are trying to get to them and pull them out. Because of the bludgeoning attack that did hit, your owl does take 9 bludgeoning damage. So Rise is hitting the wagon. You see that and then disappears.
Hedwig, no.
Oh God! Don't remind me. Okay. There's only 3 of them.
There's only
Old.
3. Yep. There seems to be 3 civilians underneath that.
Cool. I get within 30 feet. So I am 50 feet up. I can go 60 total. I'm going to superhero land on the ground right next to the cart.
Okay.
As
Snow flies, your invisible self coats you for a second and you shake it off.
as the snow goes up, I reach into my pocket and click, and just time stops.
Okay.
Grab them, cast teleport. I'm gone. I'm back at the tavern.
All right, so we have to roll for teleport, is that right? You have been there, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
It's a D100 roll.
I love this. 84. So for the people in the chat who have never seen this before, as Brom lands, his hand goes in his pocket, and the snow that is falling just stops in midair, and all of the ends stop, and all the fire stops, and everything just kind of holds for a moment as this little purple light starts to envelop Brom, and he starts moving in, runs, grabs the old man, puts his hand on the two kids next to him, mutters a few arcane words, and then just... All right, and I rolled an 84.
84, yeah, you're fine. Okay, so you grab them, you grab him, and you kind of jerk his arm a little bit. He looks at you, startled, scared. He's about to lash out at you with the axe. He gets your meeting real quick. He grabs his kids, and you bamf out.
He doesn't see him.
Oh no, he's frozen in time. The entire time, like they're just gonna suddenly be.
Oh, you're 100% right. I'm sorry. So you'd have to kind of get a limb on each kid, kind of twisting it up underneath there. And then
doing a little just like, okay, we're doing this now.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, cool. So that's it. You're gone. Meanwhile,
how long do you think we should wait?
Meanwhile, the dragon is coming in. They are moving in that direction. Fay'lnn, you went behind the hill. Avanessar, you're out there with him. As the dragon's roaring, I'm assuming you're making it make sound too. You can do that, right? Yeah. Okay. Dragons roaring overhead. They start herding in that direction. Seedlings are kind of popping off and going out. As you look upon them doing this, and especially the false light kind of illuminating the area around you, you see coming in from all sides, there were dozens of these seedlings making their own little bloody trails through the snow, hopping up on these things as they scurry away from you. These seedlings that are coming up to them, they're kind of engorged. And as they latch onto the bark, you see the bark splits open. They attach themselves, and the seedling kind of decompresses and squeezes as blood flows down it and gets absorbed into the Thistlefury.
They're like reverse mosquitoes.
Gross.
So, several long seconds, you wait for an explosion of fire, you wait for anything. You two, especially because you guys are out there. Well, I mean, nah, screw that. All three of you guys roll an insight check.
I have not rolled above a 7 all day.
I got a 15 for mine.
I got a 3.
Doing great.
I got a 14.
14. Okay. So, Fay'lnn and Keatoris, you're waiting for a sign, an explosion, something. Brom to start screaming, anything. But then it becomes curiously quiet. And for a second, you're kind of disjointed. But then you realize the screaming coming from the direction of the wagons has stopped. What are you guys doing?
Question. Seeing these seedlings crawl their way and latch onto the trees, you said they were leaving a bloody path behind them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn to Keatoris. I think these creatures are the source of the contamination. If we could trace back where they sucked up this blood, we might be able to find what's causing this.
Well, we have one. Can I hear what he's saying? I'm just right behind the hill.
Depends on how loud he's talking.
I don't know how far away you guys are from the hill.
Depends how far he walked.
We started, we were obviously herding, and my range only has 120 feet. So if we're walking forward as like pushing, I don't know, we're probably a good 30, 40 feet, 50 feet.
But you definitely see me pointing to one of the bloody trails near us.
I want to make a snowball and throw it at the back of Avanessar's head.
As you do that, it hits because it's funny. Fuck it. Avanessar, you point of clarity. You do notice these bloody trails. It's not dozens of them coming from a relatively similar path. They're streaming in from all over, like virtually 360. FYI.
Did we not just see though, like them forming on the branches and dropping off the trees?
You did.
Yeah, so they're coming from the tree, going to get the juice, and then coming back and releasing it. Yeah.
Oh, I
So
want to
it's
say something. I'm just not there to comment.
Self-sustaining.
So it would still be useful to trace where they've gone.
Yes, it would be, but are we going to check every dozen trail to see where it's coming from?
No, we only need to trace one. Anyone.
I'm all ears. And yeah, you got it.
I think that Brom is okay. He would have exploded by now if he were not.
You would know.
Sort of. So I am going to go to the bloodline, the literal line of blood nearest to us, and start to trace it outward.
Okay. So
I will motion for Lexi. Sorry, Fay'lnn. Excuse me.
Fay'lnn, excuse me. So you start walking in that direction. Brom, checking in with you real quick. You teleport out. You get there. Is there anything that you are going to be doing to be checking in back with you? Or are you just going to kind of wait for the rest of your group to come back?
Let's see if I have it prepared.
Okay.
I do have sending prepared. So the minute I get back, I'm just going to go into Avanessar. I'm going back in the tavern. Meet up back with me.
I can respond, right?
Yes, you can. You can respond to this message.
We may have a lead, but noted.
Another third level spell. What do you mean you have a lead? This is not going with the plan. Can we please just meet up back at the tavern and talk about what do you... I'm assuming I'm out of words by then.
So, around there, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I can't resist a trail of blood.
Another third level spell? What do you mean you can't get your ass back to the tavern like the plan? I'm breaking character voice here.
The number you're
Get
trying
back to the
is
tavern.
available.
Regardless of what you want to do, half of your people are not there with you. Please return back to the safety of the tavern that we can regroup and move forward with knowledge. Let me go remove all those third level spells from my character sheet real quick.
Brom is safe at the tavern and wants us to join him.
There's all of the thirds. All right.
You feel the exhaustion begin to take hold, Brom.
Oh, mental exhaustion, yeah. Oh, social, my battery's low.
All right, let's pitch it back to the field crew. So what are y'all doing?
I will communicate to my allies what Brom has communicated to me.
I will, once I see Keatoris wave me over, I will try and sneak as best as I can over there and say, so you are 100% sure that he's safe?
No.
That or dead.
What did he say?
There's no sound.
He said he was safe.
But, okay, I drop my concentration on invisibility.
There you go.
You're really insufferable, you know that.
I've been told.
I don't know why you're sneaking. There's a dragon over there.
Yeah, but there's not going to be a dragon forever. Where are we going? Let's go back to the tavern. Where are we going?
Well, how far? Avanessar wants to track this trail of blood to see if we can find.
What is that? Is that from the little seedling?
Our one is
yeah,
empty. That one is full.
That one is not there anymore.
No, it's
I don't care where it's going. I care where it's been.
What if it's not been anywhere? What if it was just in the ground?
Brom is at the tavern getting the highest alcohol percentage drink that he can find, and is just gonna start sipping.
We can go back to the tavern, but just know that we are passing up a potential lead. This is why I work alone. And
But
I'll start heading back.
If these things, I will stomp after him in the snow. If these things really are a lead and they all go to different directions, that doesn't make sense, because if they're all from the same thing, that would make more sense. But if they're all coming from different directions, that doesn't make any sense if they're the ones that are corrupting them.
What if we found that there was some sort of corruption underground and there were many of them and we found one? We wouldn't be able to destroy the corruption, but we know what we're fighting.
We're fighting trees.
We are fighting a
Okay, they're going to be arguing. I want to look for a certain little blood ball coming, like, are they still coming from everywhere and going towards?
By this point, most of them have caught up. These things are quick. Probably twice as fast as a normal humanoid. Scurrying through the snow, leaving their trails. Most of them have caught up. There may be a couple of stragglers coming in. Whether or not more show up,
Does
up to you.
Does it look like it's rhythmic? Like, is it one group? Does it feel like it's one group going back and forth, bringing energy, or is it just like random chance, just masses?
Give me an insight check. Because there's things you would see in the motion, but what you put together is a totally different matter. Also, Brom, that's 8 copper for 80 proof rye whiskey.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm sorry, what was your
That
insight
would be
check?
an 18 for insight.
18. Okay, so looking at their motion, what you can kind of piece together on the fly, they seem to be more individualistic. They don't seem to be moving in tandem. There's no coordinated movements between the seedlings and the Thistlefuries or anything like that, or, seedlings and other seedlings. But when the stragglers do get to the group, they don't exactly jump on the first Thistlefury there. They definitely seem to worm around to try and find a specific one, or maybe there's something else affecting their choice. That part you're not really sure. Does that answer your question?
Penguins when they come back and try to find their mate and
Yeah.
with this huge colony of penguins.
That's a good way to put it. Sure. Bloody penguins.
I want to share my insight with the party. I'll be like, "What, guys!" And I want to get like, stop.
We're mid argument.
Take a look at this.
What?
Yeah. It looks like those blood balls. They go to a certain Thistlefury. I've been watching them.
Okay.
I wonder if we can, if we stop all of them going to the same Thistlefury, maybe we could stop them from being evil. It seems that's what's feeding this energy, right?
Are you saying we need to kill or otherwise restrain every single one of these seeds? That is somehow an easier task than just killing all the trees.
I mean, it's not fighting hundreds of Thistlefuries, it's just picking off the blood balls.
But if these things are going into the Thistlefuries, do you not think that connection would go the other way and they would know if we're holding one of them?
Well, I didn't say restrain, I said kill.
But
Should
do
we
you not
find
think that
out?
they would die, that they would know that one of them was being attacked and then come and find it? If it's like a mother whatever relationship? Creator.
We also don't know
created?
how long we also don't know how long the evil energy will last.
I will say it might be worth our while, and I hold up the jar to see how easy these things are to kill.
Oh my
As you hold
God.
up the jar, Fay'lnn, you looking at Avanessar, he doesn't notice it because he's kind of holding up to make a point, but you notice it immediately as the orange flare of the false fire and the silver light of the moon reflect upon this jar. You see that shriveled, malformed Fay'lnn aberration has kind of shriveled up into a dry husk.
It's dead already.
God damn it! And I'll shut.
I think Onah wanted her jaw back.
This bitch dead. Yeet.
Mage
I
hand,
want to
catch it.
kill something so bad. Muscles bulging.
I've all this rage and no one to put it into.
I mean, I think it would be interesting to follow these things and see where they're going. I'm just concerned that if these things are dropping off of the trees and then going somewhere and then going back to the trees, that if we try to intercept one, the trees are going to be alerted, or it's not going to lead us anywhere that is worthwhile, and these things are going to realize that we're here and come after us anyways.
Question, DM. No, now that Keatoris has pointed out that they are going to specific trees, if I look, does it seem like they are making a beeline for the right tree, or are they sort of going and trying to find the tree?
Give me an insight check with advantage now that you know what you're looking for.
My first good roll of the night. It's a 17.
Okay. So, best way to describe it using an analogy would be there's a crowd of grown-ups, and it's like these really disgusting looking kids trying to find their parents.
All right, hear me out, Fay'lnn. Ambari.
Formal.
If
Yes, Avanessar.
full name, period.
Avanessar the Insufferable.
If these creatures...
Not a bad title.
Hey, I like it. If these creatures shared some sort of hive mind or connection to the trees from which they come, they wouldn't need to search. They could just immediately go for the right tree. But they're looking, they're searching. That tells me they know which one to go to, but they don't have an innate sense of where that one is.
Okay.
So, I think there is merit to Keatoris' idea. If we were able to intercept these things before they could get to the Thistlefury, I don't think that the tree would suddenly immediately know that we've done anything.
So do we want to go back to the tavern, get Brom, and come back with the guards in the morning and see if we can intercept these things, if these things are still here, or do we want to try to do it now? Because I'm afraid that we've made them mad and we have less of a chance at sneaking if these things have all retreated back to the host, if that's what this is. I feel like I don't know if they're going to separate again so soon, if that makes sense.
I will say that besides us saving however many people, 3 was it? I don't know. I don't even know if he found that out before he left. However many people he saved was by happenstance. We didn't even know. We were coming out here to find a way to stop the bloodshed, the needless bloodshed of all these Thistlefuries. So we just came out here, found some people, and saved them, and then we're going back with nothing. So it's a failure. We failed. We have no information, nothing, except there's things that come from the tree and give energy to the tree and nothing else. So we are not going to stop anything from happening tomorrow. That's what the Night Captain said. He needed evidence, concrete.
He's right. Tomorrow there will be a bloodbath.
Do we think we're going to be able to find these things? Or do you think these things are going to drop off again after they've already fed their host for the night? Do you think that they're going to drop off again? Because I honestly don't know. I haven't seen this before. I just know how the Thistlefuries react, and I know how the Fay'lnn react. I don't know what's going on with them right now. I don't know why they're bloody, for one. I don't know where the blood is coming from.
So while they're away, let's go follow a blood trail to see if there is a common denominator.
Fine, let's go. Fay'lnn starts stomping into the snow.
And at that point, we're going to hop on back to Brom. So, Brom, you bamfed back in. The elderly gentleman is kind of speechless for a moment. I know you said that you went to get a drink. Didn't know if you just kind of drug them there with you, let them go. What happens as soon as you got back to the last rest?
Where did you envision me teleporting in? Because I'm in.
Right outside to the left. I figured that you would have made more sense to come outside to the left so you didn't accidentally bamf into somebody and thereby, kill people. So you probably bamfed outside a little bit to the left of the door where you knew there wasn't really a whole lot going on.
I was just like, it's all right. You're safe. You're safe. It's okay. And I'm just immediately trying to calm them down because they are in fight or flight mode, and I'm just, let's talk this out.
You're invisible.
And then
at this moment.
Technically, I think when I cast a spell, it breaks invisibility unless it's greater invisibility.
This just says, what does it say?
Is it invisibility or greater invisibility?
I think if you cast an attack spell, maybe.
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Cast
as soon
spell,
as you
baby.
as soon as you teleported back, okay, you would have been fine.
Yep. So I'm just immediately like, you're okay. Nothing can hurt you here.
You see, he's frazzled. He has blood on his face from cuts and things, but more noticeably streaming down through the dried blood and even some wet blood. You see tears that have been kind of pouring down his face as he was obviously crying while thrashing out at these things. Kids likewise are frazzled. And he just kind of takes it in for a second and then drops down to his knees. The axe falls in the snow in front of you, and he starts grabbing your legs. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I thought we were gone. Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. You're safe.
My children.
Your children? Were there any more there other than you two? Or of these two? Were there any other survivors left other than this group right here?
Well, I lost Hel and Amish and Brune and Jara. Nila, my children. He reaches over and pulls them in tight. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Nila.
So while they start to break down into tears, I'm just gonna whistle for the night guard captain to come out. Just start whispering we need some help over here. Just start yelling out to get anyone's attention.
You hear, as soon as you yell that, you hear a thunder of heavy feet. Door flings open, and mugs still in hand, 4 or 5 Legion of the Fallen rush out, and they kind of look around. Some of them already have weapons drawn out. They look over at you, and they drop their weapons, and they rush over, and they grab them, and they're whispering to them. One of them is casting a spell on them. No check required. 2 and 2 together, you figure it's calm emotions, get them from going into shock. Yeah. And then they kind of escort them inside and place them over near where the bard is. It's warm, and they start giving them food and drink, and they're kind of very kindly and passively interrogating them as to what the hell is going on. Several of them are just standing there looking at you.
Not my place to do. We found them overrun by the creatures of the forest, and I saved as many as I could. All that I could find.
You see the individual that steps forward as you're kind of talking to a group a little bit. Yeah. He has most of his armor still on, but he's obviously been drinking as he stumbles a bit. He has golden, scaly skin. He's a dragonborn. Bright, silvery eyes. You found them where?
Up the hill around the corner, and I give him exactly where we found them, and the direction is there is 100 to 150 of these creatures waiting there, all moving in mass.
Yes, that sounds more or less right. We pushed them back. We didn't know how far they went, but that number seems accurate. That's good.
Okay.
That means they haven't reinforced.
They have these seedlings with them. When you cast magic around them, they seem to absorb it and grow, and I would have started sending as many as I could to oblivion, but I fear I would only make them stronger until we have more. And I'm just kind of like trying to wrap my head around everything in this situation. Like, I need time to process this. We should be expecting the rest of my group to be back soon.
You in your group, you are a guest of the Night Captain.
Yes.
You are those he sent for. Tell me, did you see any, when you were doing whatever it is you did, did you see any of the elder trees?
I'm sorry, the elder trees?
The elder trees. They're bigger, they're more powerful. Instead of the carcass and the blood, they have a person strapped to them, nailed to them.
Okay. Well, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt. Joey, did I see anything like that?
This would be a perception check with disadvantage. If you would have seen them in that moment, you were Iron Manning in to save the day.
Okay. Yeah, don't think that one's gonna... A 6?
It was too fast.
Okay. There was a lot going on. I prioritized saving lives over gathered information. I'm sorry. Sorry if that came off as arrogant. It's been a night.
No, not at all. I can see that you look exhausted and frazzled and with them and what you said.
Avanessar! And I turn away for a second and I cast the sending spells.
He just kind of cocks his head and looks at you and then drinks while you're doing this. And just waiting, some dribbling down his chin. And when you get done, well, come inside. It's cold.
Buffoon.
I will get you a drink. It is fine. It's fine. You've done good work. This is why we are here. This is why you have come. Come inside. I'm Yantim, by the way.
In another 30 minutes, I am going back out for him.
We can equip you for that if it comes to such a thing. Please just come along.
Yeah, let's get inside.
And so then he
follow him inside.
Yep. You buy a drink. He buys you one to go with it. And you guys just kind of chit-chat back and forth. In the interest of brevity here, I will tell you that he strikes up more conversation about the elder trees to make sure that you had not seen them. Mm-hmm. They don't know exactly what function or role these things play, but they do know they are different. They are larger, they're a bit more powerful, although not obviously so. But what is noticeably different, he noted, was instead of bits of refuse and animals and things like that getting attached to these trees from the seedlings, they have full, relatively unmolested, naked humanoid corpses on them, whether it's humans, elves, dwarves, anything. There seems to be an array of them. They haven't really pinned down exactly what or why, but in addition to them being kind of nailed in several places to the trunks, they have noticed, the few that they've been able to kill and examine, they do have strange, not understandable arcane glyphs and sigils carved into their skin. Their chests have also been cut open with the bone broken through with some type of heavy, powerful serrated blade, and they've all had their hearts and livers cut out.
Yeah, totally unmolested except for the sternum, their guts, tattoos.
Unmolested being no body damage besides that. Not completely eviscerated like many of their victims. So,
and I just let him know that it's definitely not something that we encountered directly. Whether or not it was in the mass, it could have been, but I don't know.
Yeah. And carries on drinking and then just catching up with you. He tried to say, and I don't know if you heard it as a player, his name's Yantim. He has kind of like a sergeant equivalent rank, a team leader. And you waste the next however long it takes for your party to come back, if they do.
Sounds good.
Anything else while you're there, or jumping back?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Back to you guys. So I know y'all said y'all are headed out. Were y'all headed in the direction of a seedling or back to the tavern?
My goal is to find a seedling trail that leads toward the direction we already wanted to go, as in toward the tavern. That general direction.
Okay. All right. I rolled a 97. Okay. So, you're keeping your eyes out as you're traveling back towards the tavern, and you do, within a couple dozen feet, see what trail looks remarkably similar to those you saw before. It is darker, red. You can see as you light up the area around it, or with whatever illumination you're using, it is darker red. The blood does seem to be kind of dried into the snow rather than wet and fresh, but you do find a trail. You were headed southwest away from the tavern to get to this place, so now you are headed northeast to get back to the tavern. This trail seems to be coming from the direction of the battlefield back in the direction you came, because you're a tracker, you know this shit. So it seems like it came from the battlefield to the place that you saw this mass of trees just now.
That's unfortunate. Can I'm going to spit in the blood just to wet it a bit, and then take a little taste.
Fay'lnn's gonna be like, that's disgusting. What are you doing? You don't even know what that is.
That's science.
That is not science. And Fay'lnn's gonna
As
be
a
like,
scientist, I'm offended.
I can't believe Mihra had to leave. I hope this isn't her stupid fucking family again. God dang it.
Okay,
Gross.
so Avanessar's blood-related checks are an intelligence check plus proficiency. Because there's not a blood-specific science,
That is
pseudoscience skill.
A 21.
Nice. Okay, so what exactly are you checking for, trying to discern?
I'm trying to see, because I believe I tasted blood of one of them at the battlefield, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if it tastes similar, or if I get any other nodes of, like, I know it's corrupted blood, but I'm hoping to identify some flavors of decorruption.
Okay. What was your intelligence check?
21.
Flavors of corruption.
It's like something that could be like I don't know, like it tastes like
raspberry,
sulfur,
strawberry,
so there might
blueberry.
be some sort of fiend-like thing involved.
It's
I
a
don't
little
know.
fizzy.
Yeah, more like a Dr. Pepper kind of thing.
carbonated.
28 flavors.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I will tell you this.
KFC secret recipe.
The
11 herbs and spices.
The base of the blood the base of the blood is not humanoid. This is more, you get more of a bestial, kind of a mammalian hue, scent, flavor
Sure.
to it.
Effervescence, really.
Yeah. The level
Aromatics are
of
lovely.
corruption, the taint that you taste.
Do you want to rethink that sentence?
No,
real
not
quick?
at all. Not even a little bit.
Hashtag taint taster. You heard it here.
Not even a little bit. The taint,
Avanessar the Taint Taster. We're
that
just
you
getting
taste.
titles racked up here.
it's not as powerful. It doesn't override the more natural flavorings, chemical balance of the blood. It's slightly different. It's peculiar. It's almost as though you get the same kind of step down in potency that you would get from a mother animal to a child animal. There's this kind of common thread in the chemical makeup, in the flavor, and you can kind of gauge lineage that way. That's one of the things you learned. And you kind of get that same weird vibe with the level of corruption, the taste of the taint in this blood.
Had to say it twice. Just had to bring it back.
Of course. How often do I get to say that? Come on.
I
Valid.
think this will lead to a dead end. This will lead us back to the battlefield from which we came. However, I do believe that these seedlings, if given time to mature, become Thistlefuries. I believe they are akin to children of the Thistlefuries.
Does that track with what Fay'lnn knows about the Falcon? Like,
As
would
far
it
as
make sense for these things to turn into Thistlefuries?
you've never seen a falcon turn into a plant of any type or an aberrant tree being of any type? No, if that's what you're
And
asking.
I recognize the seedlings as Falcon.
You're fairly certain, yes.
Okay. I'll say, I don't think you're right. I think you're very wrong, actually. But I agree that this is probably a dead end. So where do we want to go from here?
regroup at the tavern.
Do we want to go back to the tavern, or do we want to stay out here? Do we want them to come out here and say that we failed? I mean, they said we have till dawn. I don't know how far dawn is.
It was a 2-hour walk, right?
We're missing some important piece of this puzzle. The trees had script on it from a common book about the Fae. These seedlings are feeding corrupted blood into the trees.
Okay.
What is it?
What I am putting together, from what I know of the Thistlefuries, is that they aren't normally this aggressive. Right? We can agree on that. I know they aren't normally like this. I also know that those little the seeds that are dropping off of the trees are not baby Thistlefuries. They are, from my understanding, from what I've seen in Grinloft and the surrounding Sweet Mist Hollow, is that they are Fay'lnn, which are creatures that rely on magical output as their input to grow. So if there is some sort of corruption, it could very well be that these Fay'lnn are taking some sort of corrupted magic and sucking it in, and then taking that corruption back to the Thistlefury, or the Thistlefury, that carving on the bark is the corruption, and it's maybe that source of magic that is then corrupting the Fay'lnn and making them drop off and go do whatever they do, and then come back and feed more of this blood or energy or whatever it is into the Thistlefuries. Does that make sense? Because neither one are by themselves evil creatures, but something is happening in that transaction that's turning them evil. And I think it has something to do with that Fae connection to that writing. I think there's something magical about it that's triggering some other primal something.
I think you're right, which makes me want to follow this trail all the way to the end.
But you just said you think it'd be a dead end.
Well, perhaps we missed it at the battlefield. I don't know, but I think you're right. That perhaps these creatures are sucking up corrupted energy, magic. But they have to be coming from a source.
But that's the thing, is that if we saw while we were out there that these seedlings are running in all different directions, they're not going to just one direction, right? It would make sense if they were going to one source and bringing it back, but because they're going all over the place, I'm kind of confused about whether or not they're the ones that are getting the corruption and bringing it back, or if they are taking corruption and taking it out somewhere else, if that makes sense. Like, maybe they're helping spread it somehow, but I don't know.
But they return full, and they
return.
themselves.
Yeah, they return full of something, blood, I guess. I don't know where they would be getting the blood, but
we need to talk to Brom. We need to put all of our heads together for this.
I feel like maybe if we observe them from a distance without interacting and see what they do when they're calm, maybe.
Now imagine the dreadful tree ant running away across the fields.
Maybe
Crikey, it's angry.
If there's
I'm gonna
like
go
any,
poke you with a stick.
if there's any like magical anything that happens while they're calm, or if they return to a specific spot when they're not provoked, and maybe that spot is where they revamp the batteries.
So what do you suggest?
A stakeout.
I'm alright with that.
But I don't know if that's a stupid idea because all I know is that Thistlefuries are big, nice trees, and the Fay'lnn are little pudgy seeds. They're not mean. They're just themselves, really. And then something is. It just seems there seems to be a transaction missing in this transaction.
I think you're right. So perhaps a stakeout is in order. From a distance, keeping ourselves hidden, just observing.
What time is it?
What time is it in the game or like real world?
Yeah. No, yeah. What time is it real world? I don't know.
So it's hard to tell. Okay, because those nights are so long, right? You know, you've been gone for a couple hours. You've traveled a few miles. Probably what would normally be considered midnight, but you know that doesn't correlate directly with another like 6 hours till sunrise. If that helps you, it's probably more like another 8 or 10 hours till sunrise.
So we are halfway through the allotted time.
Just about getting there.
Okay, that's what
So
I was trying to get.
We have a little bit of time before sunrise. We're gonna start getting tired at some point. We haven't slept yet. I don't know if we want to stay here and wait for Brom to find us, or if we want to go collect him, take a short break, and come back out. Collect ourselves at the tavern, maybe? Because they didn't say that we couldn't go back and then come back out. It was just at dawn they leave. So, I don't know, Keatoris, I don't know if you agree that we should do a stakeout, or if you would rather just let it lie, or if you think you could think of any other way that this connection could be happening, because as far as I'm concerned, we're just missing the source. We know that there's a transaction, but we don't know which way it's flowing.
If that's the, I do believe that's what's happening, but if we leave here now and go fetch Brom, then we'll be losing the herd, if you will. We'll have to find them again. There's a lot of things that'll slow us down, that'll burn time. So I do think we need Brom for his insight, but I'm afraid that we're gonna wind up failing in our quest to save the Thistlefuries, to put it plainly.
Let's pause there. Brom.
This is a great drink.
So
Loving it.
you've passed half hour or so, and even though the warmth is nice, not being surrounded by murderous trees is nice, not having screaming children is nice, you start to feel some sense of obligation to go back out.
My fingers just tapping faster and faster and faster on the bar, like, where are they? What are they doing out there still? Why are they not back yet?
Yantum notices this. It's getting to you. Let me help you. It will help you find them, and perhaps get there faster. And so he downs his shot glass and stands up. You're saying?
As much as I would love that, I may be faster on my own.
Would you like to conserve your energy?
I would absolutely love to. I did. I'm very tired. I did a lot of my bag of tricks right there. So, and a lot went into a conversation that honestly probably could have been a little bit shorter. We're gonna have to talk about a succinct expression of want. And okay, sorry, I'm getting mad. How long would it take me to meet up to where they are?
If they are still several miles away, 10 minutes if you take a falcon sled.
A falcon what now?
A falcon sled. That's what I was going to offer you since you are the guest of the night, Captain. We have some...
Why am I talking? Let's have you talk more. And I'm...
No. Well, all right. He turns behind you as you kind of lead the way out of the door and not really know where to go. You stop, look left, look right. He catches up, grabs your shoulder warmly, and then pulls you that way. So you walk for about 10 minutes, and the conversation's happening during this walk. We are set up over here. This is where we are camping to make time for the morning. We all came to the tavern for a drink, but regardless, we have the sleds that we've been using to corral them and get the smaller groups. And the falcon can pull the sled, and you can borrow mine as long as you have it back by time for the slaughter in the morning.
And just because of the way things go, if it just so happens that maybe possibly it doesn't come back, I just want that to be like as a known possibility.
Then you owe me a favor.
Easy done.
Right.
Within reason, I'm not doing like an uncapped favor to a person who's like honestly a little drunk. Favors mean a lot.
Yeah. You, as Brom, don't really know much about the favor economy, which is very much a built-in thing in this setting. So you saying that is going to be what it is. But it has more meaning. Just preparing you as a player for that. FYI. So.
Facts. Okay.
Puts his arm around you. You're warm. Let's walk together. And so he starts pulling you along. You get there, and he shows you to his tent. It's nice, kind of oval, pretty warm, a little bit of a fire going inside. And then next to it, you see this two-wheeled, he calls it a sled, but it's kind of more like what we would understand as a chariot, except underneath it does have smooth metal rails to also help in the snow. So it's like ground or snow, depending on how much it sinks.
So Santa's sleigh.
All-wheel drive, baby.
Santa's sleigh has wheels?
In my head, it does.
Okay.
Santa's sleigh has anything you want it to.
That's fair.
Right? It's a Tesla if you really want it to be.
From front to back, the compartment where you would stand in is about 8 feet long, and around the edges there is this waist-high guardrail, except it's adorned with these onyx dark jewels that are carved to look like skulls and roses that you see are emblematic of many of the symbols the Legion wears. And there's also these serrated kind of spikes that go out 6 inches to a foot around the base of the chariot just above the wheels. There's 2 long poles that come off the front, similarly made of metal, and then several lashings that form kind of like a dog sled. You would attach a dog sled to this thing. And it comes around the side, and there's a smaller tent in the back, and you hear some kind of chirping voices coming from it. They're not really saying any words, but it does seem like speech with the patterns and rhythm. And he pokes his head in and he whispers something, and he comes back out. And you see these 4 kind of waist-high, really, really pudgy, elfish-looking creatures wander out. They're wearing natural furs and strips of leather and things like that. Very, very natural, simple clothing. 2 of them have pudgy little feet, and one of them actually has hooves on it. And there's 4 total. Their faces are kind of squat. They have 3 eyes in a triangular pattern, thick mouths, round faces, and really, really long, like 1 foot long, pointed ears. And some of them shaggy hair, some long hair. They're all kind of very basic and natural, though. And he kind of sweeps his hands over them, Yantum does. He says, "These are the Falcon that have bonded with me, and they pull my sled in exchange for the magic I feed them. They will be for you tonight. They know to take care of you and do what you say. They can kind of attuned to your will if you focus hard enough and exert your arcane influence outward."
Do I have to bond with them? I am pretty like half tapped out on that arcane magic. I'm running low, as it were.
No, it's fine. I can temporarily transfer my bond to you, which is
okay.
And they are willing, which is the important part. If they're not willing, it does not work, but they are. They're bored.
Okay.
Back up a little bit. Give them some space. They need to prepare themselves. So you step back 10 feet, he steps back 5 and folds his arm across his chest. And you see these 4 Falcon, they kind of get giddy and dance a little bit, and then they step out away from each other. And then they all kind of wiggle their heads left to right really quickly, almost like a spasm, and then they get down on all 4s, and their backs arch high, and they begin to grow and swell. And as they do, you see these almost kind of spiky type hairs start to ripple down their body with razors coming down their back and hooks. They're from 2 arms and 2 legs. You see 6 legs now sprout out, very, very wolf-like, except heavily muscled. They have a split V-tail that flicks violently as they bob and weave, and a massive jaw on a long head with 3 eyes and 2 pointed ears that twitch violently as they get a sense of any sound around them. They snarl for a bit and then start panting like a house dog. And these things fully transformed now. The shoulders on these things are about to your rib cage to shoulder length, depending on the individual one.
Okay, so like Sleipnir and Fenrir from Norse mythology had a baby.
Sure, yeah, that could work. Mental picture.
I'm not slightly afraid.
Their brown and grayish coats kind of ripple as they walk, the rigid hairs kind of giving a sense of thousands of tiny knives as they knowingly walk to the front of the sled, and Yantum goes up and begins attaching these thick leather harnesses to them. Like I was saying, they will listen to you. Just kind of project yourself forward. They don't do well with more than 2 full-sized people, so I don't know what you'll do when you find them, but at least this will allow you to find your friends faster than you traveling alone. And
that's fine.
I was going to say be careful. Just before you arrived, we had a scout return. And it seems after this encounter tomorrow, we will be traveling south, about 2 days south from here. A large mass of these things are congregating, and they're said to be in the thousands, just on the edge of the Thistlewood. So we don't know what's out there. We thought this was the most of them, but...
The garrison the Legion has set forth for this endeavor in the morning, what size are we looking at?
About 50 souls.
So we're going 50 against 150. What's the mass for the thousands? I'm sorry. Let's get through this before we think of other tactics. Okay. Sorry.
It's fun.
And you just see like Brom's eyes just darting back and forth, trying to calculate everything of what's going on here.
Take care of them, or you owe me. And with that, he kind of slaps the rear one on the hindquarters, and they surge forward, going about, well, faster than you would travel on your own, running, obviously. Average about 100 feet per turn.
Ooh. Is this action bonus action? So they have like a 50-foot round? I'm just saying, because if, just maybe we get into combat.
They're dashing.
Just God forbid.
They're dashing. But you do, as soon as you begin moving, you feel them kind of reach out searching for your energy, your influence.
They're dashing through the snow?
They are dashing through the snow on a 4 Falcon open sled. You feel them reach out with their influence, and you kind of instinctively connect. It's easy. It's almost natural and comforting. And you get the sense that if you were to exert yourself successfully, to a degree, you can make them go even faster, at least for a brief period of time.
Okay. And you said there were 4 of them?
There is.
Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, and Steve. Okay. Let's do this.
So you begin darting out, dashing, as it were, through the snow in the direction that you believe your friends to be. Yeah, you get there about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Anything you're doing during those 10 minutes I need to know about?
Trying not to crash.
Okay. It's easy enough. They're really instinctive with you just telling left, right. They kind of do it. Coming back around to our snowbound people, what are y'all doing?
I think we should...
Arguing, most likely.
Yes.
You guys argue? No. God forbid.
We should wait here and hope that Brom can find us, and then all make our way back to the den, if you will. Or...
So you won't. So you want to go like closer to them. I was thinking we just kind of chill up here on this hill and watch.
How far away are we at this point?
They kept going in the direction that the dragon was driving them. They are fully across the field by now. You're just seeing the tallest ones at the back kind of disappear over the rise. A lot of them are funneling through where those wagons were. 1,500, 2,000 feet away.
We need to get closer. Just a bit.
Oh.
I will say the dragon, I had to keep getting closer to them as the dragon was pushing because it would only be 120 feet away from me at any given point.
If you wanted to keep doing that, that's fine. As you sent that out and the dragon startled them, they all just kind of kept moving in that direction. Very, very herd-like. So you could continue following and driving them if you want, or you could have dropped it and they would have probably kept going, minus any other stimulus attracting their attention.
Okay, I just wanted to say, like, the dragon wasn't following them.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
it couldn't. It would
Right.
literally be pulled back to me. Okay,
100%.
All right, cool.
Your plan is to watch. To watch, we must approach.
Do we know if there's anywhere that we could watch safely? Because I don't want like one of these to turn around and see us right behind them on the field and then they all come rushing. Obviously want to be sneaky enough to be able to see them do whatever it is they do and then not being provoked.
They're in like a basin surrounded by hills, right, dear?
They're at the edge of it now, away from you.
But if we followed the ridge
Mhm.
to a point, we could still have aerial view of them while still being out of their eye range.
It's a reasonable assumption, but it is an assumption because you don't know what's on the other side of that far ridge.
That's true. There could be more of them.
There's probably more of them.
We know they're afraid of dragons.
Yeah.
This might be a good time to mention I can do many things, but I cannot produce fire.
Me either.
I have a torch.
I think that's a good idea. I think maybe we go along on the ridge, get the vantage point, see if we can see anything. And at least hopefully that will still keep us with enough distance to not be in the shit if we get noticed.
Let's keep ourselves low in the snow. Do our best to remain hidden.
Okay.
All right, you guys give me a stealth check. And a group perception check.
Am I part of the group yet, or?
Not yet. Give another couple minutes.
Sounds good, buddy.
I'm not the one making the perception check. Definitely not.
I got a 16 for stealth.
Okay.
Who wants to make the perception check? Do you want me to make it?
You can
No,
all
you
roll
want to?
perception. You're
Okay.
all looking out. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I got a 16 stealth on Fay'lnn.
I got a 7.
7. Okay.
17.
17. Okay. And
Luckily, because
Avanessar had what for perception?
Oh, we're all rolling perception.
Yeah, everybody roll
so
perception.
I also got a 16 for perception.
9. This one's going away too.
20.
20. Okay, beautiful. So you quietly, stealthily, as much as you can manage with Avanessar's creaky butt behind you, go around the ridge to the right-hand side, trying to keep a vantage point on those receding Thistlefuries as they're starting to get out of your sight. Once you make it about halfway around this relatively oval-shaped basin, for lack of a better term, it's not that deep. Basin's not a great word, but you get about halfway around, you see that either a group of them came back, or the group that was there by the wagons never left, too enthralled with what they were doing. And so, at least from your vantage point now, the canyon obscuring some of your vision on the area, there's at least 5 or so of these Thistlefuries still over there by that wagon area. Fire's still going, except the wagon is burnt down now. You don't hear anything except for the periodic thrashes about, and you see some of them are kind of hunched over these objects, these very animal and human-shaped objects on the ground. As you're looking at this, somewhere off in the distance, you hear what sounds like wolves running behind you. Can't quite place it, though.
I will turn around, still in Bane form, attached to my sword. I'm just ready.
What's your vision like, Brom? It's dark outside.
Well, without said owl that had gone poof in the night, quite terrible. I'm going to say I have like a torch.
Okay.
You see glowing red eyes.
Yep. So you all turn to this sound, and off in the distance, you see what appears to be a flame kind of whipping back in the wind, approaching the direction of where you were very rapidly. You can't see that far away yet, Brom.
We have company.
I hope it's the friendly kind. And I'll pull out my hand axe.
So y'all have gone about
Can I not see him yet?
Y'all have gone about 500 feet from your original point. And the clouds are starting to obscure the moon again. So it's going from dim light to darkness. Now,
And I don't want to make any loud noises.
As he gets closer, if you wait there long enough, you would see the torch illuminating him. Yes, but right now, no.
I keep my eyes on the newcomer. Just until I know for sure who it is.
I'm really just making sure you guys aren't doing anything like on the moment as this thing's approaching.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to draw attention of the big
That's
trees.
Yeah, Eldritch Blast or something.
How
just making
far?
sure.
How far are we? How far are we from the Thistlefuries that are next to the wagons?
You're making me do freaking geometrical math here. Probably like 1,000 feet. Ovals are
Still?
hard.
Okay.
Far enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we have anything to worry about the Thistlefuries at this distance.
Okay. So 20, 30 seconds passes, then you can clearly make out Brom's very, very unique face in the torchlight, heading in the direction from where you were.
Avanessar is more than a little annoyed that he still hasn't been able to hit anything.
You've gone Bane form twice. Once for a baby, and another one for it's like, let's go in this horde. Wait, no, we're not going in the horde.
I want to do minor illusion.
A little baby dragon.
And I want to make a bright light above me, like a bright arrow pointing down. Like,
Okay.
You want to ring a dinner bell along with that, or is this going to
Blink.
be?
I mean, obviously, I don't know if everyone can see it. Hopefully, you will.
True. I hope I will too. Because honestly, who knows?
Well, everything is super dark around you, Brom. You see it immediately. Yeah. 2 and 2, you put that together.
Yeah.
Glancing around, Fay'lnn, with that look on your face, I'm just going to use you. When he said he's going to put a giant arrow over your heads, you glance around quickly, kind of like, what the shit? You don't see any response or anything moving towards you. The ones over there by the wagon are still doing the thing. The rest of them beyond the ridge have all but disappeared. So, FYI, you don't seem to have attracted attention, besides maybe that of Brom.
Keatoris? What are you doing? Put that out!
Put it up!
We're trying to be sneaky. We're
trying to be stinky.
We're trying to be stinky. Put it out.
Stop!
Obviously,
Obviously, it's Brom. I really don't think these guys will see this up in the sky pointing down at us. You think the trees are worried about what's 100 feet in the air?
I'm going to look at the trees.
I think that they'll care about any distraction right now. They're still obsessed with whatever happened over there, whatever they're doing with the wagons.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be going
So-
down there next.
You're
You know
not
how
going
in-
down there. We're going around the ridge.
You
Keatoris.
know how in
You can't see
Oh my
what they're
God.
doing
It's been
from
like
this
since you-
far. I can barely
That's-
see that they are what they are.
Why we're going around the edge. We're not going into the basin. We're going around the edge.
Okay, from where we're standing, just so I know, around the basin.
Oh, Kevin was trying to say something.
You know how in Lord of the Rings, when Aragorn is the books, taking the hobbits, and then they get to the place with the ring wraiths, and they do like a fire to cook, and he comes back. I said, "What are you doing?" And he summons all the ring wraiths. This. I'm just yelling, "Put it out!" I'm just yelling, "Put it out!" as I'm running up.
I turned my sword toward Cory. Not aggressively, but what the fuck do you think you're doing?
That escalated
I
quickly.
can't this is on someone. Don't make it you.
I mean, obviously, once I see him coming towards us, I'm gonna put it out. It was just hey, I put it up there. I saw him come towards us. He's on the right path now. I'm gonna turn it off.
I mean, that's
I wouldn't
fine.
counterspell it, but I don't have any more third level spells.
That's fine. You were just arguing with Fay'lnn instead of saying he's turning towards me. I turned it off. So just put it out there.
Well,
say what you're doing.
I'm in the moment, and in the moment, I'm not turning it off while I'm having a conversation piece here. But
we're good.
Back to what I was asking. This basin, how close will it get to the Thistlefuries, or is it I will be 1,000 feet always?
No, it comes back around to the far end, right? It loops back around to the far end where that little tiny little cutout that allows the roads to travel through. You could stay on this. It's not really a ridge, okay? Make sure you guys understand that these hills are like 7-10 feet tall max. All right, but if you stay on that, you will make your way over around to where that road is cut out. The flames are. All these Thistlefuries are doing their thing.
Okay.
7 feet is taller than me.
Yes, it is.
I'm hidden.
Yeah. Okay. That went very well. What have you guys been doing since I've been gone? Have we learned anything? Have you guys gone
Arguing.
all sorts
At once.
So I think that these things are having a transaction. I think that these little babies are going. Yeah, he tried to find it. He tried to find them, and it was a dead end because, of course, it was.
So that
He's so insufferable. I don't know how
They
you put up with
haven't
him.
shut up since you left.
Shush, children.
I swear to God.
Shush. It's okay. It's okay. I've been gone for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. What have you done besides argue?
I have come to the conclusion that there's a transaction going on.
Yes, something is occurring. Have we tried to figure out what it is? Have we gone anywhere? Have you looked at anything? Have you examined anything?
If you would shut up!
I sit down in the snow.
We are on our
done.
way. That is what we're doing. We're literally on the way to go look at these things and see what they do when they're alone. Because I know that the Thistlefuries are not like this, and I know that the Falcon, which, by the way, this is what a Falcon is, kind of. But anyways, I know that they aren't normally like that, and so I think that either the trees are corrupting the Falcon, or the Falcon are bringing something corrupted back to the trees, which is why they're getting absorbed, or vice versa, and I just don't know where the source is, so that's why we're going to go look and see what they do when they're not provoked.
Okay.
Also, just so you know, that the one that we captured shriveled up and died. So we think that it didn't absorb any energy, so therefore it didn't sustain life.
Okay. Well, I believe that... Hey, Steve, you can get back to the tavern, right? And I just start talking to the wolf, and I just walk up as if he's a person. You can get back there, right? Yeah. Okay.
It kind of cocks its head, looks at the other ones, and looks back at you. And they just kind of slowly start padding their way through the snow, turning around.
You're my favorite, Steve. That's why I gave you a name. And turn around and, well, I say we get going then and do the investigation that Fay'lnn is recommending.
Finally, someone with a brain. Let's
Thank
go.
you. Oh my God. And I just literally just walk up next to Fay'lnn, like put my arm out, it's like, you are just actually probably my new favorite now.
I hooked my arm with his.
And we go.
Jaunting through the snow.
Jaunting through the snow.
Where are y'all going?
Around the ridge toward the trees.
I believe the intent is to parallel the group of Thistlefuries to examine. We're wildlife explorers right now. We are going in.
All we need is our mega lens camera.
We are
Exactly.
afroing this shit.
We need a cannon. Like the camera, not an actual cannon. I wouldn't mind an actual cannon at this point in time. But I'll take the lens.
We're on a canyon.
A canyon for a canyon, yep.
Oh, I hate it here.
I want to go home.
All right, so
Where's Mihra?
I want my bear.
you continue on the hill, going around this long oval-shaped area, and as you get to the other side, you start to see on the edge the shadow of normal standing trees. A thick arm of the Thistlewood Forest juts out here, just on the other side of this basin, and as best you can tell, that would have been the direction that the herd was headed, but you don't see them anywhere. So reason stands that they're probably in the trees. From not too far away now that you've gotten around, even more loudly, you can hear the pieces of the wood, the fire burning, and all that other stuff near that conflict point that Brom so masterfully handled earlier. But you also start to hear this weird kind of rhythmic sucking sound interspersed between the clashes of wood breaking and fire crackling.
If I start hearing Fortunate Son, I'm leaving. I'm just going to say that right now.
Fair.
Ooh, what a red, white, and blue. Okay.
Avanessar is just cutting the snow as we walk.
As we get closer, can I see if I can tell where the sucking is coming from?
You can. Your
That
vision
is a statement.
Your vision of that, the sound seems to be coming from where the wagons were, where that torch is now coming up over the ridge line. The ridge itself, because of your angle now, you can't see down into that space anymore. You're elevated above it. It's 150 feet or so ahead of you. But the sound seems to come from that direction.
I'm going to summon my familiar, my little baby pseudo dragon, and I want to whisper to him and be like, "Hey, Petrie, can you go see what's over here?" And I want to send him just peeking around the corner, up in the air, not far enough, not up enough to be noticed, but just enough so I can maybe see what's going on, hear what's going on.
You had a pseudo dragon that could have followed me into the battle the entire time to realize what was going on, and we didn't use the. I'm not gonna.
You didn't ask. You didn't ask.
You're right. This is my fault. This is totally my fault.
Is she still your favorite?
Okay.
I'm somebody's favorite, okay?
We're fine. We're fine. We're
Give
fine.
me a stealth check for your pseudo dragon.
Ooh, has better stealth than me. And would it also be making a perception check?
Sure, it wouldn't hurt. I was going to use
Okay.
its passive, but you can do an active one.
Because I get advantage. Oh, that was a good stealth check. That was that's 19 plus 6. 25?
That is really good.
Dang. That is a stealthy pseudo dragon.
Not 19 plus 6, 19 plus 4. 23.
Okay, 23.
Still
I
pretty
did
good.
my math wrong. Okay, and then, oh, that was also a really good perception check. That was, oh, fuck, what is this perception? That was a 16 for perception with a plus 3.
16.
So 16 flat.
Okay. Pseudo dragon kind of low and quickly, stealthily flies along the snow, just 6 inches to a foot above, before softly coming to perch on the edge of the ridge and starts looking around. You attune to its senses, and you see this sight of a flaming massacre stretched out before you. You see 4 dead bodies at this point. There's about 6 of these Thistlefuries in the area. Two of them are wrenching apart the wagons looking for things. There's also some dead animals nearby that seem to have gotten caught in the crossfire, so to speak. But this heavy sucking, slurping sound is originating from 3 of these Thistlefuries. You see them standing over these patches of corpses, animal and humanoid alike. From the base of their trunk, the roots that you saw wrapped around some of the Legion soldiers on the battlefield, they're digging into the ground and kind of snaking along the frozen permafrost before penetrating into these corpses. And rhythmically, they become engorged and bright red with blood as they are slowly siphoning all of the blood and internal pieces from these corpses. And you begin to see, as it's rising up, it is beginning to seep out of these Thistlefuries, and the seedlings attached to their trunk are likewise becoming engorged. Looking at this scene, you're trying to take this in to figure out what it means, and one of the Thistlefuries slowly makes a creaking sound as it turns its abominable face in the direction of the pseudo-dragon. But that's where we need to take a break, because it's 9:04. So we are going to have to take a break.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to do a giveaway. And we're going to have to do all the amazing shout outs for all you amazing people. Hold on. This music is just downright sad. It's sad music.
It's ominous.
It's ominously sad.
It's
I'm
sad.
so
It's
sorry.
not
Through that
ominous.
entire intense description, on my screen, Cory's face was glitching and making like the funniest faces. So you're talking about like tendrils and blood and guts and sinew, and I'm here like trying not to just bust a gut. I'm so sorry.
You're good, man. You're good. This is real life. This is real life D&D, all right? These are real people, right? This is how D&D works. We talk about tasting taints and laughing at abominable
Your mouth
descriptions.
was like turned upside down and like stayed open, and you're just sitting there like the entire time. And I'm like, are you making this? Is this just me?
All right. So real quick, I'm going to show off the goods one more again. We have 10 of these amazingly flashy dice, multicolored, huge D20.
Run up.
All right.
I want the giant D20. You guys are so lucky.
Someone's talking about running
I
up.
want that D4.
We have this very portable dice tower. It goes anywhere. It's very light, very, very cool, very handy. And of course, the Fableforge sticker. Easily the best thing in this whole thing. All right, so I'm gonna start the giveaway in a second. You will see the giveaway. In chat it'll say the giveaway has started. The code word for tonight, just so you know how we go, we're gonna start the giveaway, then we're gonna go to break. We'll announce the one when we get back and do the shoutouts. The code word for tonight is !blood. BLOOD for all you guys who don't know how to spell blood for some reason. Blood. All right. So all you have to do is enter !blood, and you will be entered. Streamlabs, do your thing. There it goes. All right, it is going now. So we're gonna cut to break. Stick around. See if you want when we get back. Tell your friends. It'll be wonderful to see you, and we'll find out what happens with these brave adventurers. We'll see y'all then. All right, we are back. We're ready to announce a giveaway winner and give a couple shout outs and then find out what's happening with these guys. So, first order of business, let me pick the winner. Hope y'all are ready. Hopefully this works. It should. Picking now. Hendy! Didn't Hendy win last week?
Again?
Holy
Wow, the
shit.
luck on this person.
No way.
Hendy, look, I got like $100, okay? I just, I need a couple of bets, if you don't mind. Congratulations, Cindy. Okay, so after this, one of us will be in touch with you in Twitch again. You won it last week, which is amazing. Good for you. So, we'll handle it. That's awesome. All right. Moving
Come
on
back
from
next
that.
week when Hendy wins another prize.
Right? You get this D20 right here, and I promise I'm going to wash it before I send it to you. This one right here. Big old thing. Okay. Don't wash it? I guess it's up to Hendy, isn't it?
You need that good DM grime.
Hendy, you let me know if you want it washed or not. All
You
right.
have to go ahead and roll it and get all the D20s out.
Yep, exactly.
I'm going to do I'm still the first D20 roll from you. It was an 18. Not bad.
That's a pretty solid first roll.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
Could be
good.
worse. Aria Starfire, thank you for the follow. Lunar Eternal, thank you for the resub very, very much. And Lunar, thank you for the raid. Kai, thank you for the raid. I got B Tactics followed, and I'm gonna butcher this, I'm sorry. Arasaya, thank you for the follow there. And that's what we got for the first half. Shout outs. Okay, cool. Let's jump back in. Also, guys, reminder, 2 of your characters do have Patronic Inspiration. Just saying, if you don't want bad things to happen to the other 2, might want to consider it. Just putting it out there. Take it or leave it. All right. So, let me kick us back into some ominous music. There we go. So, when we left off, Fay'lnn had sent her pseudo-dragon familiar to the edge of the ridge overlooking the wagons to get some information, find out what that strange slurping, sucking sound is. I described what I described. I'm not really keen on describing stuff like that, so I'm going to skip that part. But at the end of it, with this ominous creaking sound, the trunk of the nearest Thistlefury twisted around and looked directly in the direction of your pseudo-dragon. It slowly rises up as your pseudo-dragon kind of instinctively backs away a bit. And there was 2 seedlings at the base of its trunk near where it was absorbing this corpse.
As soon as I see it look at my pseudo-dragon, I'm sending it in the opposite direction from us.
So you're going to fly up over the wagons and go in that direction?
Yeah, like up high over.
Okay.
So like not like within like whacking range, but like high over and then opposite from us.
In an anti-whacking arc, it streaks up through the dark sky and careens over this open area with the flame passing just beneath it now very, very high. And as it's looking down, flying over before you break connection, you see those 2 seedlings that began to shift at the trunk shoot off in that direction on the ground, following your familiar's pattern, its movement, its direction away from your group. Break connection and you're back in your senses with your party.
So I'm gonna whisper this and say, so, one of the things looked at my familiar, and 2 of those little things dropped off and ran after it. I sent it away from us. I'm probably going to desummon it at some point, once they get far enough away. But just so you know, they're not wholly entrapped in the stuff. Oh, by the way, they're also sucking on the bodies.
They're what now?
They're from what it looked like, their roots are, you know how the other bodies were like wound up in the roots when in the other I guess was a battlefield. These are actively sucking on the bodies with their roots, and it looks like they're like inside of them. I don't know if they're like taking the organs or if they're just sucking the blood, but it sounds disgusting. I don't know.
Any of what you just said, to be honest.
I didn't like looking at it either.
Yes. How far away are we from these creatures?
The ridgeline, somewhere in the vicinity of 150 feet.
Okay. So we know that they are here. We know that they're eating people. What are we gaining from this information?
Well, they need a food source. That's one thing. Maybe we could assume that if these are if they need to feed on something, maybe this is how they regain energy, like how we would normally eat food. They are drinking blood.
That's
maybe,
and definitely this is fine. We're at their den, maybe, but
I don't think this is even their den. This is just their
okay
murder scene.
The thought is we're not looking to take out a small group. We're not looking to hit them first. We're trying to find the cause. We're trying to find the button to press to turn off the drones.
Turn off the drones, yes. So I don't think attacking them in this small group is a good idea.
I was talking with the captain back at the tavern. There is something called an elder tree that we should be looking out for. I feel that it might be something that might be causing the corruption for the Thistlefuries. It's a larger tree with a more prominent displayed body on the front. Did you see anything like that going in there?
When my pseudo-dragon flew over, do any of them look like an elder tree, or do they all just look like the normal?
You saw a very tall, thin... How to put this? It's almost like it's almost reminiscent of a genasi, an earth genasi, but it's not. One of the very, very many lineages that travel here from everywhere in the multiverse. But nonetheless, a tall, thin individual, humanoid, was in fact nailed and ritually eviscerated on the tree that rose up and looked at you.
Okay, so these elder trees, you say they have what? What are they?
I would like to then convey all the information that you have already told us about elder trees.
Got it.
And then I'll be like, well, I did see. Okay, so I said that one of them had looked at me. The one that actually looked at me had some creature, I want to say it was a genasi, nailed to the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's what they said, right? Is that
seems,
the elder trees?
That does seem to fit the description.
And it was dead, obviously.
Honestly, at that point, I would hope so, because existing like that is just not really something that I would ever want on my worst enemy.
I mean, I wonder if that's... Do I know... Do Thistlefuries usually do that? Like, is that what Elder Thistlefuries are? Or is that, like, a new thing?
You've never heard of an Elder Thistlefury? Mm-hmm. And the ones... The entities you're familiar with, some places are known as Thistlefuries, you're starting to get the sense that these creatures, these aberrations, it's more like a case of the general populace, the Legion, whomever, kind of transferring that identity because of the similarities, but you're getting the sense these are altogether different creatures. Again, no Elder Thistlefuries, nothing with blood, nothing with attacking anyone, is anything about the Thistlefuries that you have ever known. That's for sure.
Do you think that perhaps these bodies nailed to these trees are all bodies of magically inclined people?
Well, that's what I'm beginning to wonder. If they are bodies of magic users, and what if that is this part of the source of the corruption, is that they take these magic users, take their magic, and then that's what's creating these creatures, because these aren't normal creatures that I know of. But what if that is the case? What if you're right? What if these are magic users and their magic is being the corrupting force that's doing this? And whatever those runes are, maybe the magic is like exacerbating whatever that meaning behind that passage is.
Then why the random attacks on the wagons? Why that old man? Why the children? Why not go specifically after warlocks or wizards or sorcerers?
Well,
why are they attacking at random?
Maybe there was a magic user within that group.
Or
maybe that's why.
I also feel like we're asking a lot of questions here, knowing we're not going to get any answers.
I have a theory. Think of the elder trees as the coal in the fire. They're the fuel. The elder trees are the energy source for the rest of the colony. But the goal is not to suck up as much magic as possible. The goal is to become a huge horde and kill or whatever. But the elder trees are the power source, the seedlings take the power from the elder trees and give it to the rest of the normal Thistlefuries to make them powerful so that they can grow and multiply, etc., etc. But what that would mean, is that if we take out the elders, we cut off the engine.
I could see that being something. I'm just worried that these other Thistlefuries are not like anything I've seen before, and I'd be worried that the corruption has spread so deep into them that if we do kill the elder, they would still be the same. I'm willing to try killing one just to see, but I think that we should keep in mind that that could be a possible scenario, is that while this could be a source of the power, it might not be the source.
Fuck it. Let's go for it. There's
Are we
nothing
doing
we can
this?
learn. Nessie, you ready to hit something?
I'm going to raise my sword to my face and cut my lip once more, and crackling lightning shoots over my sword. And I
Is
just
he
begin
like
to
this all the
heavily
time?
breathe.
Oh, yeah. This is when he really comes alive. You know, the energy really comes out of him.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Plan of attack. We have Avanessar run up. I can fly up, bombard from the sky. Sounds good. What are you guys doing? I can only plan for us. I only know us.
And how far did you say they were away from us? They're like 100 feet, you
They seem
said,
to be
from
around
where we are?
100 to 150 feet.
100 to
depending.
150. Okay.
Yeah, that's where the ridge line
need-
is. You can't see them.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Can we-
we're 150 feet away from the ridge line, and then we assume they're right below the ridge line.
Well, you
How
saw
about we
with
all
your pseudo
stealth our way
dragon,
up
you saw
to the
them there.
ridge line? Let's all stealth our way to the ridge line, see what we can get from that, and plan from there. Sound good?
And
Let's do it.
Since my familiar is still out, I'm just having it fly away from us for now, until like keeping those seedlings occupied, like thinking that it's going somewhere specific. And then as soon as we do something, I'm gonna desummon it.
Okay. I'll get you guys back over to the map.
And
Alright.
my mage armor is still active from last week, I believe,
Sure.
because it's an 8-hour duration. Okay.
100%. All right. So first, the situation has changed. You'll stop for a little bit, and also the pseudo dragon was a thing. Let's get another group of stealth checks.
Stealth, baby, you don't
That
get
was
to
a
look at me.
19 for
Oh,
Avanessar.
19's good.
Keatoris, honestly.
You
That
made
was
up
a
for me.
nat 20 for a 34.
That's
Arm
absurd.
I'm
smash.
so happy with his 19. And
I have a 17.
Katori kind of disappears under the snow.
Katori turns into a snow panther.
Seriously.
And what
A
was,
whopping 9.
9? Okay.
Woo.
My lightning sword is just illuminating you.
Yeah. Can you? It's that plus the torch. Like, I'm also just missing the snow every now and then. Somehow I'm just hitting rocks.
You're just standing in front of me. So you no one notices me. It's just
Yep.
you.
I'm just the distraction.
Yeah, Katori just fades into the background, like that one kid in the school.
We know he's
Okay.
there, just no one sees him.
So you creep up to the edge, silently and stealthy as a church mouse. You don't seem to attract any attention. Once more, the scene is very much as I described earlier to Fay'lnn. That elder tree right here in the middle of the map, the one that looked at you, it's kind of hard to see my ping there. He has gone back to sucking the blood and visceral matter from the corpse and the horse nearby. What are y'all doing?
The elder tree is the one next to the horse.
Yes.
Okay. On the ridge.
I'm going to.
I can probably tint him for you, actually.
Yeah. Sorry. How tall is the ridge?
You're looking at about 20 to 25 feet up, depending on where you're talking about.
And from where we are, would you say that is the elder tree taller than us?
No, he's probably around. The tops of his branches right there would be probably about the same height as where your feet are. He's pushing the 20-foot range.
Okay.
Keatoris, would you be able to make some sort of illusion to group them up, get them all next to one another?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
So I feel we group them up, blow them up, and then send in the meat grinder over here to finish them off.
My plan exactly.
You see Keatoris like dig into his pouch, like still close, and he pulls out his deck of cards, shuffles them.
Maybe we have something we can almost guarantee the illusion of instead of a randomized choice from a deck of cards. I'm just going to throw this out there. I really don't like this.
With the skill and precision of
Shit, that was my deck of many things.
Oh, God.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, I nipped it from you. No, I
An elder
toss.
tree with a wish spell. It's all we need.
I want to throw a card deftly towards the trees.
Okay.
You
Which
activated my trap card.
where in the trees? Like in the middle of all of them? Just curious. Okay.
I want to know.
Sorry, that
Hold
was
on.
me. I didn't know that was the thing I could
Oh.
do, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
It'll go away on its own.
Oh, thank you.
How far being good at cards and tricks
Being
and performing
amazing.
and being amazing, how far do you think I could throw a card?
Well,
I know like actual card throwers can throw them pretty far.
what we'll do.
Are you allowing me to throw it
What
30,
we'll do
40
is
feet?
we'll say that you give me a sleight of hand check. If you're not proficient, which you should be, add your proficiency modifier because you're good at this. And whatever the number is, that's how many feet it goes.
Okay, let's see.
If you're not 20, we'll cap it out at like 40 feet or something if you want.
All right, so that was you said it's a 25.
25. Okay, so you can throw it up to 25 feet. Where are you aiming?
Let's see. I would aim probably. Is that how you do it? Nope.
You can just describe it with your words. It's fine. Not to be perfect.
In between, like I want to throw 25 feet towards that one that's on fire right there, like right here.
Towards the wagon. Okay.
In
you got
between towards the wagon, in between those two trees. That's where I'm throwing it.
Okay.
I don't know if the deck is going to be working. We
Try
will
it.
see.
Let's find out.
Best laid plans.
I'm nervous for you.
While
Me too.
this is happening, knowing that I'm a bit of the ways away, I want to start slowly and skillfully making my way down the ridge behind them while still holding onto my sword in one hand.
Okay.
I have a
Second.
question.
1 second.
Okay.
So if you're going to keep holding your sword, you're doing this one-handed, that'll be an athletics check with disadvantage.
All right.
What's your question, Fay'lnn?
Are we treating this as like a surprise round since they don't know that we're here yet?
If we actually get to initiative, I'll let you know. Depends on what you guys do before then.
Okay, got it. Understood.
Yep.
That is, I shit you not. I need to do math here. That is a 28 athletics check.
With disadvantage? Holy
I rolled a
shit.
16 and a 17, and with my potion right now, I have a plus 12 to athletics.
All
Why
right.
roll?
Fay'lnn has some care.
Welcome to level 13,
I will
guys.
say that stealth check was with disadvantage. I rolled two 20s.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah, let's just show up. Let's show up our co-player.
Just gave me Platonic Inspiration, by the way.
Oh, so you, Avanessar, have Patronic Inspiration?
Give me that light.
Bing!
Ding!
Also, it did work,
Okay.
and where the card lands, a hobgoblin spawns.
Okay.
Perfect.
You got it. Give me a second here.
Not as cool as a beholder or anything, but
That's okay.
Honestly,
It's something.
It's kind of what we're hoping for. We want, the bunny that the wolves will chase after. This is okay. This could work.
It's fine.
All right.
And I'm just going to look at Keatoris.
Unless they're friendly with hobgoblins, we don't know.
Earlier, you did an illusion that you could very much control. Could we talk about this whole trusting fate thing next? Okay.
All right. They are going to start doing stuff. So now is as good a time as any to go ahead and roll for initiative.
All right.
fate is the key word, Brom.
Oh, I don't like it.
Fate is back at the tavern.
Oh, God.
All right,
That's a
Keatoris.
13 for Avanessar.
Avanessar, 13. You got it.
That's a 7 for Fay'lnn.
Again?
Again.
Okay. And Keatoris?
Oh, hold on.
I'm holding. Anxiously waiting.
Yeah. 17.
You got it. 17. All right. So, I know that this hobgoblin appears. Remind me again, what control do you have over this when you use the deck? Anything, or is it just show up?
Let's see.
It's like in Star Wars when they're playing 3D chess, it's just like, "Rah!" and then they just hold there.
Rah.
Oh, it says I could do it within 30
Really
feet.
bad old CGI.
Okay, now we know. 30 feet.
Oh, just so everyone know, yeah, within 30 feet. So I have, that's how far.
Also, shout out,
And
Lunar just gave another Patronic Inspiration to Kai, so now we all have Patronic
Oh
Inspiration.
no. Oh
Heck the
no.
so it appears real and it behaves as if it were real.
It's gonna
except
run
it
away.
it can't do damage.
Love that.
I can use an action to move it magically, so I can control it.
Okay.
But any physical interaction reveals it to be an illusion because objects pass through it.
All right. So, how we're going to do this is you threw the card out, embeds in the snow. This hobgoblin with the big old sword and shield appears out in the middle of nowhere. The Thistlefuries all get startled and see this thing, and they begin to look at it. This is a surprise round. They were not aware. Keatoris, you have the initiative. What are you going to do?
Oof. I want to. I want to cast.
Action. Come on.
Sorry.
What are we doing?
Sorry. I'm gonna cast Confusion over at the bottom two Thistlefuries. So I need a wisdom save from both of them.
You got it.
And which two are you targeting? Is it the two that it's
The
in
bottom
between?
two.
The bottom two.
No, the bottom two.
Wisdom
What?
saving throw is... One of them is a 16, and one of them is a 4.
They both fail.
Okay.
So now They can't take reactions, and they must roll a d10 at the start of their turn to determine their behavior.
You got it.
It's good. It's really good.
All right. What else you got?
That was kind of like trying to not be seen by them, kind of still, because I want them to actually group towards the hobgoblin. So,
Okay.
I will deftly move over here.
All right.
Keep watch.
You got it. Now, you did break stealth when you cast as a spell, but just because of the circumstances of this, I'll let you get another stealth roll in, even though I know you're going to max it the fuck out. That's fine.
Do you want me to do it right now?
13.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it now.
That's an 18.
Okay.
What did you roll? A 2?
A 4.
It wasn't far off.
Wow.
All right. So,
Right.
Here we go.
Thistlefuries are up. These all come over here and start attacking at this. They lash out. You see the roots whip into the ground, drive up through the snow, and attempt to grapple it. They can't do so. For these individuals, it is still... Wait, no, they don't. They are going to start doing that on their next turn, because it's a surprise round. You guys just got a clue as to what they're going to do. Avanessar, you're up. What are you doing?
I would like to wait.
I would like to
Hurry up and wait.
I would like to hold my turn, or take lower initiative.
Delay your turn?
Delay. I like to delay my turn
Okay.
until after Brom.
Okay, so your new initiative is 8.
Okay.
All right. Brom, what are you doing?
I'm going to go up to a place on the ridge nearby.
Mm-hmm.
How do I move my character? There we go. And without breaking my lovely 9 stealth, I'm going to get behind that rock, and I'm going to prepare for when they get closer together. I'm going to cast Fireball. 5th level.
All right. So when they congregate, you're ready in action. When they're close enough, you're going to...
When these 4 go after the hobgoblin and they are within a 20-foot radius to hit all 4 of them, that's when it smacks down.
Okay. You got it. All right, Avanessar. He's ready in action. You were waiting for him. Now you're up.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay.
We're using a surprise round to hurry up and wait, so...
That's it.
All right. No, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I am going to look at the elder, and from my hidden place, just reach out for the blood within it, and you see a spurt of blood come out of it and almost carve itself into an A in blood on its barky chest. And I will use Blood Curse of the Marked, and I will amplify it.
Did you just like Zorro mark one of the trees?
Actually, yes, I did, but I'm not
love
gonna
that.
because I don't know how that works yet. So I'm not gonna amplify it, but I used Blood Curse of the Marked. Oh shit! Until the end of my turn.
Level 13, baby, let's go!
We're learning.
We're learning.
Look, okay, so you're give you guys a little bit of a leeway here for at least a few sessions. Your character would have known how that works.
Yep.
So I appreciate the description. You can retcon it if you want.
Fuck!
We can wait for that to happen, and you can just say, I do the thing I did last time, next turn.
Yeah.
No, because I can only hold an action. I can't hold my entire turn, and that's a bonus action.
True. I know you can hurry up and wait.
Tits. Yeah, I'm just gonna lose. I'm gonna lose my turn.
You can ready a move or ready an action.
I
You can do nothing.
will
Could also do
ready.
nothing.
No, I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna wait until my normal turn next round.
All right, this is a very suspenseful first round, by the way. Fay'lnn, you're up. What do you do?
I'm hyping myself up.
Everybody.
I'm ready.
I would like to cast slow on all 4 of the ones in the middle.
Okay.
It's a wisdom save.
Goblin.
This is an AoE, correct?
Yes, it's a 40-foot cube.
Okay. What level are you casting at? Your warlock, so 5, right?
Max level 5.
Okay.
Love slow. Slow is amazing. Disadvantage on dex checks,
Gonna make
baby.
them stronger.
They must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. And the wisdom save DC is 16.
Just
Okay.
the seedlings though, not the trees.
So you
No,
reach
it's
out,
all of them in the 40-foot cube.
you reach out to your patron asking for a gift of energy, and you force it forward and shape it into the slow spell encompassing that area. You see the cube begin to rise. And near the center of it, you see one of those seedlings begin to glow brightly and then
Oh, fuck.
break open, and the spell gets absorbed.
I forgot about the little shits.
But that seedling's dead.
Okay.
It's all right. You're killing the seedlings so that the fireball works.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
How many seedlings is the question?
Yeah. I forgot the seedlings do the thing with the pop.
There is a seedling right there by the hobgoblin's feet, Brom.
Okay.
Just so you know.
I'm gonna do something clever here, hopefully.
Well, I hope so, because you already cast a spell, so we're going to find out how smart you are. This is going to be interesting. All right, we're back up to the top. Keatoris, what are you doing?
Muted.
Unmuted. Sorry.
There we go.
Takes a second to load. I will ready a thunder wave. Because I'm still in stealth, right? So I want to ready a thunder wave for a good opportune moment of someone else hitting something hard.
Fireball.
Okay.
Basically, like I know our plan. So now that I already had two things, like I want to ready a thunder wave, just a regular level one thunder wave as like a bonus damage for whenever he unleashes his fireball, which I know is coming.
Okay, so again, your character would know this. You're up on that ridge. Thunder wave has a range of self. It protrudes out from you in a 15-foot cone.
Oops.
Are you thinking shatter?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking shatter. I was thinking shatter. My bad.
Oh, good. God
All
forbid
right,
all of
well-
these spells that have thunder damage. God.
I mean, you guys have like 30
Right?
spells each. So, I mean, the confusion's understandable.
Dude, there's so many. So many spells.
Tell you what, I will do Synaptic Static instead.
Okay. New spell. I like it.
And
What are we doing?
that's also an AoE,
Okay.
and it has a range of 20 feet.
Okay.
I mean, not a range, a radius.
Okay.
So a 40-foot diameter sphere.
Mhm.
And I will wait for a fireball, and I will also cast that
Okay. So you grab hold of the
wherever
arcane
the fireball
energy.
hits.
Grab hold of the arcane energy. You're holding it.
Oh.
You're waiting. All right. So
Yes.
is that the end of your turn? You're just readying that. You're not moving or anything else, right?
Correct.
Okay. So your round has passed. We are now in the second round. The Thistlefuries and the seedlings go. These ones right here by the hobgoblin begin to move in. They get within range of your fireball, Brom. But you also notice that seedling while you were holding it. What are you doing?
So there's only one seedling?
There is.
Cool, I'm going to spell sculpt around it.
Okay. That
Dope.
should work. Read spell scope specifically. I just want to make sure it's not willing or anything else kind of crazy. It should be fine.
Spell sculpting is I can choose up to my intelligence modifier of creatures and sculpt the spell around it so that they automatically save on their checks and they take no damage.
Nice.
I will also remind you, DM, that 2 of those Thistlefuries need to roll to see what they do.
That's these two.
The
over
two
here.
in the south. They're confused. But no, thank you for that. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
The 4 up here were the ones that I was referring to. I will do that. Thank you for the reminder, because I probably would have forgotten that. All right, so you spell sculpt around it. A fireball releases. Go ahead and roll it, man.
All right, so we got, let's see how we do this. Fireball, we're doing that 5th. And it's going to hit I do it there, it's going to hit everything. Oh, that's a cool effect. Oh, I love that.
That's sexy.
Yes.
All right.
So I think I'm hitting the 2x2 squares of the 2 in the corner there, but I think I can hit almost every single one of them.
You got 5 of them there. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. You got 5 Thistlefuries, and you're sculpting around the 2 seedlings that would be affected. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so saving throws.
They need to make a DC 17 dexterity check. All of the ones. Oh, and they didn't get slowed. Damn it. Okay. But yeah.
You got
they
it.
take. I want you to know I rolled 4 1s on the damage. Love that. 5th level spell.
You do have Patronic Inspiration.
For damage?
It goes for any roll.
Gonna save it.
Okay.
Definitely gonna save it.
You got it. All right.
That's all right. You can use all your 3rd level. Oh.
So the top
Don't
left one.
you dare bring this up to me, Nessie.
Top left saves. Second one clockwise does not. Third one does not. Fourth one does not. Last one at the bottom does.
Okay, so the ones that do save take 18 points of fire damage. Everyone else takes 36.
They take 36 because they're vulnerable.
Oh, so that means 72.
That's it.
Oh, nice.
Yes! Finally, something goes right.
All right, so
Even a bad roll can do 70 damage.
Love it.
42.
Why use anything else
That's
with Fireball?
crazy. I know, right? Fireball's the thing. And then, Jesus Christ. It's a lot of damage, man.
Yeah, I ruined your first encounter. How about your second?
I'm not ruining anything, Bubba. I live for this. All right, cool. So, bolt of arcane energy streaks out. This massive fireball melts the snow, sets the trees around on fire. The Thistlefuries go up in flames, let out this horrifying shriek. It sounds like wood grating against itself, but also this abyssal roar from some type of wounded bestial creature. They all get scorched to shit. The elder is now on fire. The rest of them, they quickly burn up a lot and they scorch, and limbs and branches and some of the corpse pieces fall off. They're all very, very heavily damaged.
God, I love wizards.
It's pretty badass. All right, so
And the hobgoblin is
Strike.
just sitting there like,
he is Synaptic Strike. You're readying that, right, Cory?
yeah,
Okay.
synaptic static.
Synaptic Static, new spell. Thank you. Go ahead and use that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Does it get absorbed?
Oh, if you're targeting the same
I was
area,
assuming.
yeah, it will,
Yeah.
because you can't spell sculpt.
Yep.
I was making sure you didn't
Correct.
change anything. Okay,
Nope. That's what my plan was.
you got it. All right, Brom. Rest of your turn. Fireball went off. It was really, really good.
So that was my prepared action on their turn.
That's right.
Fireball
Oh, yeah.
again.
Oh, let me double check these confusion rolls real quick. I did forget about that. Whole lot going on.
Yep.
Got a 9 and an 8.
Okay, the 9 can act and move normally.
Okay.
The 8 must use its melee attack against a randomly determined creature within reach.
That's exactly what I wanted.
Yes.
All
I
right.
love the friendly fire.
Well, within reach, there's only one. So make an attack roll here. And that is going to be a miss. Rolled a 3 plus 6. So it lashes out at Thistlefury right next to it. Thistlefury near it turns around and kind of lashes out back at it. Because now it's confused. I mean, it was confused anyway, it can act and move normally, but it's getting attacked by its buddy. So that is going to be a hit. That is going to be a total of 7 bludgeoning and 7 poison damage.
Oof. Also, just so you're tracking, at the end of each of its turns, it can make another wisdom saving throw.
100%. Okay. So they do that. All that happens, you guys are about to nuke these guys and everyone's going to have a chance, which is amazing.
Oh my god, if Avanessar doesn't get another combat round.
Their turn has the seedlings. Seedlings are gonna. That one's going towards the hobgoblin. This one is gonna streak forward as well. This one disappeared with synaptic status. Let me get this guy out of the way because you can't see him. And this seedling is kind of protecting its parent, attacking the other guy. I'll give it an attack roll for fun. Probably not gonna hit. Doesn't hit. We're back to Brom. That's your official turn, Brom.
Spell so nice. I'm gonna do it twice. We're gonna do Fireball 4th level this time.
Holy shit!
Leave
All
me
the
for me to
damage.
kill.
Did the other confused Thistlefury happen to walk into my range?
Let me make sure. Let me align them on the grid. They're off the grid a little bit. So these are now all on the grid appropriately. So what's your range? Are you talking about the AOE
40-foot
effect?
diameter? Yeah,
Drop your sphere. We can move it.
that's what we're looking at. Because I didn't know if him going to attack the other Thistlefury might have brought him in. I'm actually reaching here.
Are you talking about the one there at the bottom?
Yeah,
I think you're gonna
misplace that actually.
Okay, so on the top
Yeah.
left of your screen, the little
It's
L
fine
thing.
if it's
you
not.
can
I'm
click
already
move it.
doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, you
It's
are.
totally
I
okay.
Brom,
think you're gonna have to choose between the top one and the bottom one. What, Katori?
I'm gonna hit the bottom one
I
this
wanna
time
point
since
out-
the other one's already hurt a lot.
Okay.
Did you already increase your range by 5?
You can
Why
do
would
that
you
with
do
spell
that?
sculpting.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in
Yes.
your thing.
You can
Well, I
increase or
do that
decrease
then,
your
and
range
then
by
hit
5.
everything.
You're good. Yep, you can hit everything. You need spell sculpt around
Cool.
the 2 seedlings that are still there, which you do.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right, I need more d20s. Hold on, let me make this
Avanessar's like,
easier.
The more you know.
All the fireballs. How many do I need?
Okay,
1, 2,
I
3, 4,
officially hate
5.
this thing. I rolled another 5 ones. I'm gonna use the Patreon against fucking ration.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on, let me
really doesn't
see
want
what
you to
saves and
fight?
doesn't save first. Hold on. All right. So top is a 13. Next one's an 11. Fail. The 4th one is success, but it's not going to matter. The one down here is going to be a 19. Doubt that's going to matter. And all right, so the 2 on the bottom save, and 1 in the middle saves, but it's not going to matter. He has low health. All right. So you rolled. No, I rolled Patronic Inspiration. So you rolled your first one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. How many d6s am I rolling?
96.
Jesus. Just happen to have enough.
Fireball.
Oh yeah, the nice sounds of dice being shuffled
Right.
together.
Damage.
At least it's for us and not
That's
against us.
30 base damage. Is that higher than your base damage without any modifiers? Yeah, it's no modifiers, right?
No, it's just the dice.
Okay. So, Tonic Inspiration pays off. Let me take that off real quick before I forget. You're now doing 30 damage instead. Power down. All right. So, which means that's going to nuke just about all of them. All 4 of these go up in flames.
That's 60 if they failed.
Yep, 100%. The Elder is hanging on by a thread. Like literal thread.
Avi's gonna cut that.
These 2
thread.
succeeded, so they're still up. Let me double check the other one. Yeah, they're still up.
I think Fay'lnn would actually be like, I'm actually happy that I don't have to fight these things.
All right, so the Thistlefury turns around. Now it sees where it's coming from. It has already attacked the Hobgoblin. It is tracking you now, just so you know, Brom. Anything else?
Totally fine. I think I am just going to walk back this way. I'm gonna go, bam, bam, have fun. I'm just gonna dip right around the backside of this rock so they can't even see me. And I'm just gonna just duck down, give myself some cover.
You got it. All right, Nessie.
That's my cue.
Get him!
I'm gonna wait. No, kidding.
All right, I'm going to take my time with this. First thing I'll do is make my way to the Elder with my lightning blade in hand. And I will simply give it a little strike.
If I miss this, guys.
Every part of me wants you to miss so badly.
Okay, here we go. It's something that I do all the time. We're totally fine.
Real
Here
quick,
goes nothing.
You got this.
one
You
thing
got
I forgot that Kevin benefited from. Our rule states you have to call Patronic Inspiration before you make the roll.
I'm aware.
I forgot that.
That's a dirty
Okay.
20.
Okay. Dirty 20?
Yes.
That's going to be a hit. Yes, that's a hit.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. So that was 2 1s, but I can re-roll those.
Hey, let's go.
And it was a 2 and a 1.
Plus like 13.
We're level
Love
1
it.
again.
Love it.
That's 10 points of acid damage and another 8 points of lightning damage.
All right, so you got this 20-foot tall Elder Thistlefury in front of you. It turns flaming to look at Brom. You have your sword creeping up behind it. You slash out at it. You're going to have to tell me how this happens, because as it turns, the flames, bark is scorched. It's letting out this horrible shrieking noise focused on Brom. That peculiar Genasi-looking individual whose skin is now burnt and kind of melting off, as you approach with your sword at the ready, turns to look at you and gasps in agony. But you did do enough. You did do enough damage to kill the Elder. So what are you doing?
All right.
Now he says non-lethal.
Without taking too much time, can I see if the other members of my party noticed this creature looking at me?
I'm behind a rock.
I was gonna say that would be, well, angle probably not. They're all pretty far from the ledge. I don't even know if you can see them at all.
I'm going to say your sacrifice is appreciated.
And I'm going to stab through the creature's neck into the bark of the tree. And then the lightning surges through the entire tree.
With a loud roar, lightning streaks up into the sky. The tree kind of splits in half, and as it does so, because he's nailed on his limbs, the corpse of this individual splits in half along with it and falls into 2 massive logs on either side of you.
For the rest of my turn,
God.
so I've used 5, 10, 15, I've used 20 feet. So 25, 30, 35.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of melee range, which is upsetting. I will just look at it.
Do you have a throwing weapon?
Yeah, but I don't want to use it.
He's throwing hard looks, man.
Yeah.
Straight blue steel. There's a lot of smoke, but
Do I notice any change in the rest of the Thistlefuries with the death of the Elder?
Insight check with disadvantage because you're not using your action.
I
not
technically
focused.
used half an action, if that matters.
No.
use the other attack for an insight.
You
You know?
could use action surge to do it, but yeah.
Not a fighter anymore.
Oh,
that's
that's
the 2 and a
right.
1.
Okay. They're still willing. They were willing at each other up to the point where the Elder died. You don't know if it's causality or coincidence, but they kind of stop and turn to look in that direction. You're not sure where they're going to go or what they're going to do from here.
All right, I just look at the Thistlefuries and say, I've been waiting all day for some fun.
That's my turn.
You got it. Fay'lnn, what you doing?
I'm gonna pop my head out and see that Avanessar is failing at killing these 2 things down there. And I'm
I got
gonna
attempted.
I'm going to Eldritch Blast them, and I get 3 beams.
Go for it.
Okay. What is my thing for Eldritch Blast? Okay. That's a good fair bit. First beam is a 19 to hit, and I'm targeting the one right here, this closer one.
Mm-hmm. 19 hits.
I'll go ahead and roll damage for that one. And I'm changing everything to necrotic damage.
You got it.
Where's my D10?
Didn't know that was a thing. That's awesome.
9,
It is
12
for her.
damage
Sounds
for that
like
one.
something Tior used to do.
12's enough. Punch a massive
Okay.
hole through the chunk. Kind of explodes and then collapses in on itself before sliding off into 2 separate logs.
Next one is a 27 to hit.
That's enough. Way more than enough.
Math.
That is 8 damage, necrotic damage.
All right.
And then the next one is a 22 to hit. And that is another 13 damage. Yeah.
Muted.
You muted, Joey.
I am. I was testing you. You passed. Good job.
Nice.
As the Eldritch energy slams into it and bits of bark fly off, you see the kind of sub-flesh of this entity as the bark is ripped off. These pulsing, engorged veins filled with blood. And as energy seeps in and spreads, you see that blood start to turn this like grayish, blackish color as it spreads throughout their body. And it writhes around in agony, branches screaming. It is furious. Anything else, Fay'lnn?
I think I have a bonus action. What can I do with my bonus action?
Don't know.
Oh, I could do something creepy with my bonus action, but I'm not going to do that yet. So,
Okay.
how far do you think my familiar is away if I was just having it circle in the area?
Whatever range you would want it to be in, you're telepathically communicating with it.
Within come back to me right now range.
You got it, sure. You got you right there.
I want it to fly as it's coming back in and attack the thing, because I can do that as a bonus action.
Attack the thing. Oh, so you want your familiar to come in and attack the Thistlefury.
Yes.
Okay.
It can do, let me see, what is its sting attack?
Inside right now,
okay.
it does tons of damage.
It does so much damage.
So
it's going to do
much.
such a good job. That is not even going to hit. That's a 13 to hit.
Love it.
Unfortunately, it does not hit. You're right.
Okay,
can't
I'll bring my
penetrate the
pseudo
bark.
dragon back, and it'll perch on my shoulder, and I'll give it a pet.
You got it. All right, Keatoris. Oh, the thing had a wisdom save to try and lose it, didn't it? I forgot.
Yeah.
18. Does an 18 fail or succeed?
It is a wisdom save of 18, so I think that's a succeed.
I want to say it probably doesn't matter, but just in case. Okay, go ahead.
It's my go?
Yep.
Oh, it didn't have another turn? That's cool. I will... That's 20... 30... That's 40 feet. That's not enough. Darn. Actually, it is enough. I'm going to use my feline agility and double my speed. And when I'm attacking, I get a bonus of 10. So that puts me at 80 feet.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, walk up to it.
Are you going to need an acrobatics check or a dexterity saving throw? Kind of go back and forth on it depending on what you're doing, because you're jumping off a 20 to 25 foot cliff.
Okay, so you said either acrobatics or what?
Now do a dexterity saving throw. I should probably just stick with one. I always go back and forth in my head because I'm a horrible DM.
That's a
Don't talk about my friend like that.
14.
A 14. Okay, so you're going to take 3 bludgeoning damage, but you're not going to go prone.
Ouch. That
Yeah.
sucks. I rolled
Yeah,
a
ouch.
4.
Ouch. 3 damage. Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, it hurt my bones, man. I'm gonna
He sprained his ankle.
not even stub the toe, more likely. But anyway, I'm gonna go in between the little guy and the Thistlefury,
Okay.
and I will use a bonus action or a bardic inspiration, if you will, to then do a blade flourish of slashing.
Okay.
So I will roll that. That's an 11 plus 5. So that's 16. Does a 16 hit?
You didn't roll with advantage.
That's also true.
Mm-hmm. His rapier allows him to roll with advantage every time he attacks.
What?
Yep.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Take a few levels in Rogue, and you'd be unstoppable.
Oh my god.
All right, so instead of an 11, that's a 28 plus 5, which is
Oh
a
my God.
33.
That's a hit. In case you were wondering.
And that's 11 plus 5 points of damage to both. So that's 16 damage to both the seedling and the Thistlefury.
All right. Well, you slam into the Thistlefury and whip your rapier sideways, slicing the seedling in two entirely. Take a big old chunk off the Thistlefury. He's hurting. He's hurting bad.
All right. And then I'm going to do it again.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it again.
Hold Alt to roll with advantage. I guess it didn't work. Just hit reroll.
No. It hit a 25, whatever. I'll
It's a
reroll
hit.
it.
Well, it could be
Yeah.
a natural 20. That's why.
It could have been, but anyway. 10 damage.
That's enough.
All
All
right.
right. So you strike through, rip some bark out, and bring your rapier into the seedling. The seedling bursts. A second talk, you spin around, you jump up, take the rapier, and start slamming in the center of this trunk, making a giant hole before it kind of splits halfway in the middle and falls over. You tumble off to the side into the snow, and as you do that, 4 seedlings kind of swell up immediately, and then all around it. Thistlefury's dead. Got a couple seedlings around you. You should be fine. All right. Anything else?
I'm gonna do like that scene because running over here, like just like my ankle, like when I was jumping off that thing, just
like a Family Guy.
yeah,
Love it.
it burns. I scraped my leg on that rock over there.
More calisthenics.
Oh, does someone have any ointment?
No.
Where are you going,
That's it.
Keatoris? Where are you going? Where are you moving? Because you didn't move your token.
No, I was just saying like that happened.
so
They're
you
not
weren't
next
moving.
to me, right?
No, they're not. Not directly.
Sorry,
Okay, I was just
measuring
making
out
sure
stuff.
I'm not next to
Oh,
them.
okay.
That's all.
Okay, you're good. Yeah. That was Kevin playing with things and me getting confused. All right.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that you guys can see when I'm measuring out things for AoE spells, and I'm just like, if I had 20 feet, if I had 30, okay, if I had this, like.
All right. Seedlings are up. They're going to go with the next closest target. The hobgoblin is essentially useless at this point because they know they've all tried attacking it. Remove this guy. I'm not going to remove it right now because Foundry is broken.
Love it.
Okay, so ignore the hobgoblin. Let's see. And, well, they're there. Avanessar. These two are going to surge to Avanessar. And Keatoris, you're the closest one to these four, so they're going to run around you. You guys will be alright. They're really not that bad. Alright, so 4 attacks against Keatoris. Move all these dice I have from Kevin's fireball.
You're welcome.
Alright, first one's a 16, second one's a 24, third one is a 15, fourth one is a 17, Keatoris.
1 hit.
Okay, so that is going to be a tiny bit of piercing damage. 6 piercing damage. And you need to give me a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 16.
All right. So they all lunge out at you, hopping off the ground by undulating their bodies and getting enough force to fly through the air. Using your rapier and your deft acrobatic ability, you avoid 3 of them, but the 4th one latches onto your shoulder, and then it begins to kind of carve into your skin and try to burrow into your body. You reach up, grab it, and throw it on the ground, making it shuffle along the snow and leaving a bloody trail, able to repel the attack. Avanessar, you have 2 coming at you. That's going to be a 20 and a 21 to hit.
I'm going to look at the one that rolled the 21, and I'm going to feel the blood in its body and try to move the blood in its body towards whatever orifice it uses to see. And I will use the blood curse of the eyeless and subtract.
What is it?
It's a 1. So,
Question for you,
yeah,
because you know your abilities better than me, or you're supposed to.
yeah.
Does it affect creatures that are blind or don't have eyes and use blind sight?
If it's immune to blindness, it does not affect it.
It is immune to blindness.
So you just give it a really bad headache.
Either way, it doesn't really matter.
You try. It doesn't really matter.
That's right.
Like the worst migraine ever. Yeah.
Okay, so were those both hits or just one?
Both of them are hits. They were
Okay.
both the same roll. It's both 20.
20 and a 21. Just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So 4 piercing damage and then another 7 piercing damage. And I need 2 constitution saving throws from you.
All right. First one. God damn it. 9.
That's a fail.
Second one is a natural 18, 21.
That's a success. So one lunges out, slashes across your neck, and starts to try to penetrate. You reach up, grab it, and pull it off. And as you do, the other one gets in that soft space between your arm underneath your arm and burrows into your chest. And you feel it worming around in your body, in your torso right now.
Oh my god.
Just like college.
What?
All right, Brom, you're up.
Spell's so nice, I'm gonna cast it thrice. So we're gonna drop another. Just gonna walk over here to the edge, and I'm gonna take out my wand and just kind of throw a fireball and spin it around them. So I'm gonna spell sculpt it around all of them to hit all of the seedlings. I'm gonna cast it at 4th level.
Okay, so if you're spell sculpting around it, the way I understood it was you were basically saying the spell does not affect them, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if it doesn't affect them, what is the mechanical point of doing this?
No, I'm gonna have it hit the seedlings because you said that when the seedlings were hit by spells earlier, they swelled up and exploded, right?
Yes, they will.
Okay.
They will absorb energy. So each seedling, mechanically, you guys would have gleaned this as characters. Each seedling can absorb up to 5 spell slots of energy before it bursts open.
If I was to hit all of them with one spell, would one absorb all of the spell's energy, or would it be dispersed between all of them?
So the way I was tracking it was it would come in. I'm fine either way, just so y'all know. It would come in, and then one of them would try to absorb as much as they could, and then anything else would bleed over. If you want to evenly disperse it, if that makes more sense to you guys, I'm fine with that interpretation too. I don't really care either way.
Okay.
It could have tactical implications either way. So y'all tell me right now what we're doing. Does one burst, and then the spell's gone?
Oh, I meant
or do they
like do all
absorb
of them
it?
take the 5th level? Or
No,
4th
just
level
one of them would
energy?
explode
Okay.
and the spell would dissipate. If it's a 5th level spell.
Yeah. Shoot. Then I wouldn't know this. I'm going to drop 4th level fireball on there.
Okay.
In my mind, it would, grab all of them because maybe that's what's going on. So we're just going to do that just to take care of one of them. Actually,
Okay.
but you set up to 5th level, so we're going to do. I wouldn't know that, so I'm going to do 4th.
Okay.
So we can just say.
Yep, you cast
Stop
it,
there.
big old fireballs start to expand, and then arcane energy is split up into one, and it splits most of the way open, but it's still wiggling around. You do see that little bitty malformed Falcon baby inside.
Perfect.
All right, and we can talk about that more offline and make sure that we're all understanding and we all think it's the
Totally
best way to
fine.
do it. Okay. All right, is that it, Brom?
That's what I got.
All right, Nessie.
So there's one inside me.
Mm-hmm. I'll make that one invisible for now on the map.
All right.
That's a statement. Jeez.
I'm just going to whisper to it. You have no idea what you're in for. And I will mark it so no one can see it, but there is a tiny little A in blood that gets seared onto its skin. And
This is just for me making sure that we're learning together. So for that ability, do you need to be able to see it?
Fuck. Carry on. Eventually I will grant someone.
I mean, it's pretty cool. You can do it anyway, just for the future.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll do it by the rules.
You try to do it, but you're so pissed off you forget. You need to be able to see one.
I am going to flip my sword. And I'm going to stab myself.
That's the obby we know.
Trying to avoid myself and trying to hit the thing, but not really caring if I miss.
Okay, so you can feel where it is, right? We'll say you automatically hit it, but your attack roll is going to determine whether or not you do any significant damage to yourself. All right?
That is fair.
So you're not rolling against your own AC. We're going to put this at like a... If you roll below a 15.
Okay.
Okay?
I have a plus 12. So
I know. That's what I did that on purpose. You're pretty skilled with your blade. That'd be so funny, right?
No, no, no.
There's no way. There's no way.
It can't. Not.
It was a new die, too.
Dice jail. Dice jail.
Did you kick a baby today? Like, what kind of karmic justice is this?
Guys, I have so many d20s and they're all not behaving.
Dude, you had to roll above a 3, man. A 3. Like, I did that on purpose.
15% chance.
Okay.
Okay.
So roll damage against yourself, Avanessar.
Full damage?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the good news is I'm resistant to my own type of damage.
Oh, great.
The bad news is he's going to roll max.
What about the lightning? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm not resistant to lightning, but I can technically turn that lightning energy into the same energy.
Okay, you're good.
So, 12 plus 15, but I'll make it all acid, so it only becomes 7 points of damage.
There you go. Beautiful.
Love it.
Okay.
Do I
So
do
you did this
anything
again
to
on
the
the
thing?
second attack?
You
Just stabbing yourself over and over again.
you slam your sword in. Happen to nick an artery, which seals up pretty quickly. Then you wrench it out, and the seedling is on the blade. Now, what you notice is, as you do that, the cocoon, the outside, as it entered your body, kind of peeled away or melded with your skin or something. You're not sure, because what comes out is just that malformed, bloody falcon baby type creature on the tip of your blade.
All right. Second attack. I will pop it up.
It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. You can do it for fun, but it's dead.
Is it really?
It's dead. Yeah.
All right, fine.
You can do it for flair.
I'll wipe it off my blade and I'll turn around because there's another one right behind me, right?
There is.
All right. Okay. I'll go. All right. Oh, that's all you can do this. This one I'll mark, because why not?
Yep, you got it.
So,
You want to use Patriotic inspiration? Do you have that? Do you want to make sure that you want to die?
you know what? So, hold on. So I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to amplify it. So I'll take a little damage myself. The cut that I just made of myself oozes a bit more. And I take 2 points of damage. And the blood A appears on this little fucking thing. And I'm going to... and I will make my second attack.
You got it. Go for it.
I'm going to use maximum effort for the damage if it hits.
Okay, remember,
this, buddy.
for maximum effort, those are tied to your character roleplay. That's to reward you guys thinking in character. So usually, not usually. One of the prerequisites is, as you describe this, it's because insert character
Yes.
blurb here.
Because I've been wanting to be in a fight for so long. And sure, I killed the elder, but I didn't really. And I'm just
You did
feeling
so
down on
good.
myself.
This is gonna be his nightmare tonight. We're gonna wake up and he's gonna be crying.
Okay, if you hit, you can double the damage.
Oh, sweet. Okay, thank God I have a good modifier. That's a 22.
That's definitely a hit.
Okay.
Oh, God. Using double damage on a baby.
So, I can reroll that.
Like 7 damage killed the first one, bud. Like,
I am going for
Yeah,
broke.
but he's pissed, right? He's pissed.
true.
At this point, he's just gonna stomp on its corpse.
Seriously.
Okay, alright. So, doubled. So it would be 8 points of acid damage. Sorry, 16 points of acid damage.
Okay.
And 9 points of lightning damage.
Okay. I mean, there's more than enough. They have 2 hit points. So, you tell me what that much damage looks like to a 2 hit point seedling, please.
I am going to stab it, and then stab it, and then stab it to the point where it's like not even a thing to be stabbed anymore. It's just sort of a puddle, and then I'm gonna stomp on it.
Oh, you're making peanut butter out of the seed. You're just really going for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say now it's seed jelly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Fay'lnn, to your listen to me. Last campaign, well, last season. Avanessar is going to town on this thing. What are you doing?
I'm gonna look over at Brom and be like, is he okay? I'm gonna
Try not to ask that question.
I know that these things will explode if I cast a spell at them, but I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna try to shoot him with my crossbow.
Okay, go for it.
My little hand crossbow. Let me see. Does this hit? No, that's a nat one. Never mind.
Okay.
Wow.
Is that it?
I'll use my bonus action. Use my bonus action. See if I can get my pseudo dragon to hit it.
There
Probably
you go.
not, but we'll see.
We'll find out.
I mean, it has the capability to kill it.
It does, and that was a what is its +2 attack? Does it just use mine? Oh no, there it is. That's a 19 for my pseudo dragon.
That's a hit.
Okay. That doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does do some. That is 5 total damage, and it has to make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
It doesn't matter unless you want it to.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's just gonna be poisoned. But it's gonna be dead and poisoned.
It does it anyways. He's poisoned the shit out of it. Pseudo Dragon flies in, rakes across its back, splitting it open, and that one lies motionless as it swoops up in the air and spins around, ready for whatever you want it to do next.
That's gonna be it, because I think it can only do one thing. So that's be it for me.
Arcatori, you got 3 left. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm.
Muted. There.
3 left. Man, why does it have to be 3? Why couldn't it have been 2?
Dice rolls, man.
Well,
Man. All right. Whatever. I'll use a slashing flourish again.
Okay.
I really think I'm gonna hit, but we'll see.
We'll
I
see.
guess. That's 20.
Okay.
And do I get a nat 20? No, I don't. So, for my first attack, I'll hit all of them for a lot of damage.
Hit all of them?
9.
Let me double check your thing. It's slashing, right?
Yep. I hit all of them. I hit
Is it
everyone
hitting
that's
adjacent?
within 5.
Any other creature
feet of
within
me.
5 feet.
Yep.
That's more than enough. So Keatoris, takes a rapier, does this fancy flourish, and spins around like a whirlwind, slicing all three, lopping them in half, and the top halves just kind of slide off into the snow around him.
You're a furry tornado.
And I'll like
Fernado. The sequel to Sharknado.
get all the blood and just like flick it off as I finish, and then bow. And then that'll be my turn.
That's it.
When a tornado hits a Utah furry convention, a Fernado is formed.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. You know what though? I'm gonna embrace that. That's gonna be my Fernado.
There you go. I like it.
Fernado. That's the move.
If we ever go
is
to
now
a convention, you have to dress up in a furry costume and spin in a circle.
Yeah.
Show off your signature move.
Yeah.
Hi guys, this is Fernado and the Taint Taster coming to you
Oh
live.
God.
Do you want him to whip around his rapier too, or is that too much?
Oh. God.
Never mind.
This is how we're gonna
from
get
the Red
banned.
Opera. This is gonna be my last night, guys. Oh God.
All right, so as the blood and the snow and the shouts of battle die down around you, you now have a half dozen of these large Thistlefuries, an elder Thistlefury in the middle with this, well, it's split in two, and so is the corpse that is nailed to it. A handful of these seedlings around you. What are you guys doing?
I want to go investigate the elder Thistlefury.
As will I.
And
And then I have a question for you, a flavor question. It's probably going to be like a no, that's not going to happen because I don't have the spell. But if I wanted to try to speak with the dead thing on the front, could I use my patronic inspiration and my connection to my patron to make one attempt to speak with it?
I will tell you what, because of the flavor in this campaign, if you guys want to use Patronic Inspiration to contact your patron or a patron, you can burn your Patronic Inspiration for that. That can be very powerful. More powerful than re-rolling some dice, for sure, depending on the situation.
Okay, I would like to try to do that, to contact my patron and see if they know anything about what is making these things do this. Like, even just, like, anything. And, like, portray the picture of the Thistlefury and then the dead Genasi pinned to it.
Okay. Whew. All right. So, you walk over slowly to the older Thistlefury and the corpse sundered into, nailed to it. Trying to figure out what to do, you feel this tug at the back of your mind. You have a patron. Your patron is skilled in these things. And so you close your eyes to focus, kind of fade away from everything around you, and reach out to this entity that gives you power. You feel the subtle connection, that subtle, warm, cold feeling that grips you every time. You know that your patron or an emissary has arrived, and so you slowly let your eyes flutter open. And at the periphery of your vision, everything, as it is often to do, has kind of faded to black, and just the immediate 50 feet or so around you is visible. Standing on the other side of this Thistlefury, heavily cloaked, dark figure floats just a bit above the snow. His arms kind of stretched out a little bit. And is waiting for you to illustrate your questions.
I will kneel next to the Thistlefury and gesture to the dead Genasi and say, do you know what is causing this? Do you know what's going on here? There's more than just this one, I know, but do you have any idea?
Silently, this figure moves towards you, approaching within arm's reach. As it gets close, it slowly raises its hand up in skeletal figures stretching out towards you, and as they lay upon your forehead, you feel that familiar tingling sensation. With the other hand, it reaches over to the partially severed, well, wholly severed chest of this Genasi-type figure. And you feel pain. You feel betrayal, confusion, as your thoughts and your memories are partially merged with this individual's. In your mind, you see you are looking through a thick, dark metal helmet. You're walking through the woods. There's snow on the ground. You feel like you're not really sure why you're here, just that you're supposed to be here. You've been told to be here, and around you are several of your friends. That much you know. Up in front, there's a curious figure, someone that you're not familiar with. They're supposed to be leading the way. They're supposed to be guiding you to some destination, some important task handed down by somebody that has authority over you. You make your way deeper and deeper into the woods, traveling for an hour, 2 hours. It's hard to say with everything so dark at night. When you arrive, the cloaked figure turns, pulls back his hood, and you see a relatively tan-skinned elf with a bright flash of blonde hair, cut in a little bit of a long mohawk that sweeps back behind it. Your vision kind of fades. The voices become muddled. You're not entirely sure what's being said. And then you feel a pain in the lower back, a sharp pain, a burning pain, and you instinctively fall to your knees. And then a dull, painful blow to the back of your head, and everything goes black. When you awaken, you're suspended 10 feet in the air. You have searing pain in your forearms, in your shoulders, in your hips, your thighs, your calves. Everywhere they drove these 6-inch long metallic spikes, nailing you to this tree. You feel the cold biting your skin, your nude body feeling every sensation that you wish you could block out, but you can't. And as your vision stops being blurry, you feel the first of many cuts to follow in your chest and in your torso, as they're carving these strange glyphs and sigils you don't recognize. The hooded figure once more has his hood up, and he is holding a candle and some book to read it by. He is muttering strange arcane words that don't make sense to you, but you know that there's some form of Elvish or Sylvan. When he finishes, your closest friend, the one you've been through many fights with, many battles with, in service, walks up to you with a dour look on his face, and with a hooked knife, jams it into your chest and wrenches down in one forceful blow. You feel your blood begin to pour out of your body, and then several more stab wounds, but by this point you've become numb, your body's shutting down. You see him remove your heart, and a sharp tugging sensation as he removes your liver. And then you feel your back begin to burn. Almost feels as though it's kind of being torn and separated. And you feel the hard wooden bark of this tree begin to meld with your flesh. Your heart is there in a nondescript bowl, as is your liver. But somehow you retain consciousness for minutes, for hours, for days. And then it happens. You see these very cute, shouldn't belong here creatures, maybe up to your waist if you were standing up, pudgy with long pointed ears. They're arriving from the darkness. They're looking at you or looking at the tree behind you. You aren't quite sure. But they seem fixated. They seem transfixed. And you feel the tree begin to emanate around you and through you this arcane energy. As it reaches out, they become pulled in by it and approach closer and closer. They kneel down and touch your blood flowing from the tree, or the tree's blood. You're not quite sure anymore. And as they touch, it begins to soak into their skin, and then they form these abysmal, cocoon-shaped seeds. After a few more days, these things hatch, and they become these grotesque, squirming creatures that begin to worm their way through the snow and the dirt away from you before latching onto another tree. And then they'll go and return with fresh blood as they grow bigger and they get more pieces of bodies and carcasses. These trees as well become awakened and uproot themselves from the ground, carrying these seedlings with them and marching out to the rest of the woods around you. Every now and then, your tree seems satisfied. It doesn't want to move like these other trees do. You see other trees with individuals nailed to them, just like you were. Carved, mutilated, ritually, just the same. And you think to yourself, what if you had trusted your gut? You knew something was off about that night. You didn't get any information. What if you had done things differently? What if you could go back in time and not trust your friend? Not trust his judgment when he decided that you should both join the King's Accursed Guard.
Write that down.
In the days to follow, nailed to this tree, you went through many towns, havens, herds of animals, massacring, killing civilians, killing Legion of the Fallen. And just once you had hoped you would come across some errant patrol, some group of travelers, some squad of the Accursed Guard, so your tree could take its vengeance. But they were never to be seen. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session at.
What, you didn't see the moment when he got electrocuted to death?
It was fireball, lightning, death. You know, that's really all it was.
When he looked at his savior and like, oh, please help me.
And then just...
Oh, God. Well,
It's not like he would have survived anyways. His heart was gone.
yeah,
It's
this
true.
is
That was
pretty beyond.
undeath. That wasn't death. That was
Yeah.
that was restoring order is what that was.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, hope you guys had a good night.
It was fun.
It was fun. I
Good
enjoyed
time.
it. You guys got to roll some dice and do some stuff and contact patrons. Let me go ahead and take Fay'lnn's Patronic Inspiration off the board.
I am glad I decided to use it for that.
Yeah, that was
That's
great.
great.
That was really, really creative. I like that a lot. Juno, thank you for the follow.
Juno.
Juno? Juno?
Juno?
Juno, thank you for the follow. Juno. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna end the stream here. Before we do that, let me queue up a raid, get that going. I also like to help fill that time. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming. We'll do the thank yous when we're about to do the raid, though. You guys chat a little bit about the session. What'd you love? What'd you hate? Anything awesome? Anything horrible? While I queue up the raid to send us off with a bang.
Well,
I
my
finally
favorite
got to
part
hit
was
something.
well, that was a teensy bit of it, but my favorite part was you not being able to hit anything at
Yeah,
all,
that was pretty good.
and just the build up to then hit yourself, basically.
I also like even when we're not playing siblings, Lexi and I still bicker like siblings.
That's because Avanessar is just as insufferable as her brother was sometimes.
Yeah. think you wrote in a reason for her to really be agitated with your character quite constantly. I can't
Yeah,
really
you know,
think
you just
what it
murdered
could
my
be.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You're
That
just
didn't even come up at all tonight. So
a
I think
know.
sibling killer.
Just waiting
Fay'lnn
for
is
that
gonna
to
be
happen.
standing over you in your sleep one night
I was also
with a knife.
quite surprised and awesome that all of the non-attack spells worked as well as they did. Like the confusion, the major illusion, the minor illusion, the everything. Like it
The
all.
sending, and the sending.
The sending. The sending and the
There,
sending.
Sammy.
Listen, you are so OP with all these crazy wizard spells and all these crazy abilities. I'm a dude with a sword with a little bit of a taste for blood. All right.
Yeah.
There's
You're
gotta be a
Zorro
balance.
marking things up with your A's. You know, you're doing great. Look, I got to skip the boring parts of being a wizard of like level 1 through 10. I get like all of the delayed gratification with none of the delayed part.
Just
So
the
this is great for me. Yeah. Pure gratification.
Yeah. I am excited to have Onah and Mihra back though.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell Mihra all about how Avanessar is a freaking stupid head.
Yeah,
You know,
such a dumb
I
dumb.
agreed to your plan, and then Brom came back. And
Yeah,
was like,
but
"We should
you
do
know
your
that's
plan,"
not-
and you were like, "Finally."
But you know, Fay'lnn's not gonna do it. She's gonna be like, and then he took us on a dead end, and he was so stupid, and he was arguing with me. Can you believe he would argue with me?
And you know she's gonna be like, "I can't believe that. What should we do? Should we kill him? Let's."
We're
go."
gonna have an
Yes.
hour of Fay'lnn and Mihra just catching up, talking by the campfire. Like, and then this bitch said, and then I said.
And then he wouldn't shut up.
Oh my god. I don't know what
Love it.
Keatoris gonna do. He's gonna bury his head in the snow. And be hidden from everyone else.
Yeah.
Because no one else can see me.
All right, guys. Well, I have, I think we're gonna raid Weave the Tail. They're friends of the community. We've got some people over there that really support us really, really well. We're gonna show them the love. They're also playing in D&D. Something about first look at Crucible. Don't know what that is, but please stick around for that. Tell them you came from Fableforge, because we're awesome, and they're pretty cool too. Thank you guys for showing up again. Episode number 2. Next week's gonna be even better, and then even better, and even better. Thank you for all the support you've given us, Patronic Inspiration and everything. If you do nothing else to support us, if you do nothing else, please get the word out. Talk on social media, tell your people, because then our community grows and we have more fun. We can share the story, and it's all the better for everybody. So on that note, without any final thoughts, somebody's like, Joey, stop. Without any final thoughts, we're going to go over to the ending screen, and then we're going to queue up the raid. So go over there, drop your thanks, and all that good stuff. Anybody? Once? Twice? Sold. All right. Love you guys. Have a great week. We'll see you on socials before then or next week, 7 p.m. Central. Goodbye.